Sending data. Here we go. Here we go. We are starting. We are starting, everybody. Here we go. Hello, hello, hello. Let me open up my Restream chat. Jesus. Am I even, like, good at streaming? Can I even stream? Like, bruh, I don't even have the comments up. Okay. All right, Elden Ring, where we're not stuck on Tree Sentinel for, like, a really long time. That was several hours. I was just like jamming my face into Tree Sentinel like, I got this. I got something to prove. And I don't know if it made me look any good at this game. Let's see here. Bobro says, you make Elden Ring look easy apart from the 100 or so deaths by that night. Yes, you are a good streamer. Thank you. Wow. With time, man. With time. Maybe what is going on with my video card? Is there something going on? It's like having like a conniption. Maybe it'll get better. Oh, there you go. Lag. Okay, lag. I don't know why it's doing that. It didn't do that before. Now it's doing that. I'm hoping that that goes away. It looks like it's getting better, I think. No? Is it I can't have that happen. I can't have this happen. I can't have that happen. Hold on. Do I not have streamer mode enabled? Hold on a sec. Bro, something is going on with my game. Let's see what I can do to fix it. Hold on. I heard Trump is in the Epstein files. Probably. Hold on, let me see if I could do something to the system, like just change the display and then mess with it and then put it back. Like, okay, if I set, for example, the resolution to like a different resolution, maybe it'll like, all right, maybe that fixes it. Maybe. All right. Yeah, I think that fixed it. All right. It's odd. By the way, my computer case came in. I was so excited. I had to remove it from the box. And I just wanted to take a look at what my new computer is going to look like. Holy crap, this thing is sexy. It is a sexy beast. It is a sexy computer. She fat, though. She fat. Do you guys want to see it? Do you want me to? Should I bring it up and just show you real quick? Wigan Keegan says tan person with a stick, not a white bloke with an AR-15. What the woke crap is this? Yes, it's very woke here. Yes, very very woke. Yes. Oh boy. Well, let's see if we can kill this guy. Boop. Ow. Ow. Stop it. All right, hold on. All right, come on. I'm trying to time it. Come on. Come here. Yeah. Got him. Come here, horse. Wait, the horse did nothing wrong. Why am I attacking the horse? The horse is just doing its job. Is the horse just going to get away from me or is it going to attack me? Hi, horsey. Hi, horsey. Okay, we're going to leave horsey alone. Wigan Keegan says, morning, woke ender. Bobro says, yes, show us. All right. Just for you guys. Let me go get it. It's downstairs. Hang tight. with nothing in it. It's a heavy sumbitch. Damn. I'm actually kind of surprised how heavy it is without anything in it. All right, hold on. Let me switch it up a little bit. Change the scene. Let me also adjust the range so you can see more. Okay. All right. All right. Here we go. All right. Let me just remove the plastic for now. But I will, I need the plastic on there because I don't want it to be dusty by the time that I put it together, because it's going to be there for like a week. But, bruh. Look at this case, bruh. Holy crap. Is that not a sexy beast? Look how sexy this computer is. Oh my god. Look at the top of it. Here. See that? It's so elegant. See, I'm not an RGB guy. I don't like my computer with RGB. Why? Well, it's because I'm old. That's why. I'm old. Like, maybe if I was like in my early 20s, RGB looked great. But as I've gotten older, I want things to look, I want it to look professional, and RGB just ain't it. I'm almost positive that there's going to be a monster here that's going to spawn. So I'm going to hurry and put this downstairs. And then we're going to play some Elden Ring and taking calls. All right. Come with me. Yeah. Love the wood front. It's coming close to an actual furniture. Yes. We are taking calls. 202-998-5218. Call in. Call in. I'm available. Shoot. Where's Logi? Let me adjust the... There we go. Much better. Anyway, back to the game. Oh, boy. I'm very excited. Oh, my. What do we have here? Some giants to kill. No problem. No problem. What are you worried about? Giants? Are you worried about giants? I ain't worried about giants. Ow. I missed. Ow. Hold on. Gotta get into the groove. Dang it. That is not the groove. Damn it. I learned how to do that in a groove and I was just missing. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We are taking a call. 202-998-5218. Wigan Keegan says, wait. That's a green screen? You don't live in a waterfall cave? It's funny. Amender, stop fighting bosses you can't win against this when you are so weak. Dude, I'm not. I can do it. I can do it. It's doable. Ow. Listen. You just need to know how to break poise. Actually, you know what? there's a secret boss that's on this this bridge. So I think we're gonna do that. We're gonna slap that boss. That's what we're gonna do. We got this, no problem. There's a big cool boss that we can fight. There's a big one, and he's big and cool. No. I need to change that because I'm almost positive that my pouch... No. Hold on. Switch to this. There we go. That's what I want. All right. Rest. Okay. So if I wait... Actually, I should be able to level up. Yeah, I got 1900. Give me more strength, bruh. More strength. What are you doing? All right, hold on. Let's see here. So... pastime. Okay, so until nightfall. Okay, so when I hit up nightfall, there's a boss that shows up at that bridge, and so we're gonna slap him. I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna give him the old slappies. No problem. It's a Rubik's morning saying good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? We are taking calls 202-998-5218. If somebody wants to come in and debate me, I'm right here. Right, y'all. All right. So there's this group here. I'm going to try not to aggro, but I have a feeling that I may end up aggroing. Anyway, this is him. He's great. Look at him. Isn't he cool? Ow. That hit hard. Holy crap. Crap. Oh, well, that killed me. I really should not be fighting that boss now that I think about it. He's actually really hard. We could probably... How many Titanite shards do I have? Let's take a look. It's a club +1. I mean, it's barely any good. Honestly, we should be hitting up the mine. That's what we should be doing. Hit up that mine. Let's see. Where are the Titanite shards? I don't think I have any. Okay, well... that's why we need to hit up this. All right, that's where we're going. Rubik says, tired, but I'm all right. Still waiting to hear back from a few people who I contacted for the 2v2 debate. Great. It's fabulous. You showing up on Modern Day Debate? You got down there. If so, that's great. Do Republicans think anthropology is bullshit? Do they just like ignore anthropology? Like, I'm actually kind of curious. Dude, this I'm telling you, dude, this weapon is so underrated. Underrated. Underrated club gang. Hi. Ow. Don't do that. Bah. 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 There. Dead. See? Look how easy it is. No problem. Even better, would you agree that people interact socially within sexed bodies? Like, Do they identify as a specific gender when they interact with each other? Did I get that correct? All right. There's almost always an extra spot. I found one. This is another problem. I need to get a torch. Specifically, a thing to put around my side. And I know where that is, but it's nowhere close to here, so I can't deal with that yet. So we're just going to have to endure for now. All right. Here we go. We're in it to win it. We are taking calls 202-998-5218. If you want to call in, let's have the debate. Let's talk. All right. We got here's this dude. See how strong they are. They're very weak. Very weak. All right. This is where we find the early smithing stones. This is where we start getting strong. This is where it begins. The journey. Hi, buddy. Bum, bum. Thank you. Smithing stone, smithing stone. Does whatever a smithing stone do. Check it out, smithing stone. I'm just going to whack on the guy with a good one, smithing stone. It's a me, a Mario, says Wigan Keegan. Oh, rats! Die, rat! You must die. Ow. Hey, what's up, homie? Okay, we're gonna dodge that. All right. Bobro says, no, you don't. Don't lie. I have debated you every stream and you have yet to change your mind. I'm actually kind of curious if GJM is slowly becoming woke by watching this show. I like to think so. I like to think that people who watch my show, they're like, that's a good point. I mean, probably not, but still, you know, it's fun to think about. I cannot tell you how excited I am to get this computer, man. I'm so excited. I've been staring at that processor like, oh, you're going to be my brain. No, 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 I fell. Oh, I'm alive. I need to check out that ledge, though. Should I turn up the game while we stream? Or is it good? Good volume? You guys are okay with the kind of general silence? Understood. Terry M says, another woke dreamer. I think everyone thinks the way I do when in reality, no one does. Well, you will find that where I get my information or what I do to come to my conclusions is I am very, very empirical about things. Things need to actually exist in reality for me to like consider it seriously. And the problem that I'm having is that the reaction, I just died. The reaction I've observed to like just general, just trying to, I would say just being a human being to other people and treating them as humans is now no longer in vogue. And that concerns me. Like, take, for example, like the trans bathroom issue. Okay. Me as a human, I would like there to be reasonable accommodations to use the bathroom free of harassment. And when I'm observing what a trans person has to go through when they're using a bathroom, they're thinking, do I pass enough to use the bathroom I want? Am I going to get in trouble? Are people going to harass me because I just don't use the bathroom that they like? You know, like, for example, if someone passes as a woman and then they elect to use the men's bathroom, will they get harassed in the men's bathroom? Will they get harassed in the women's bathroom? It's like it's a battle. You're just like weighing like what could happen here. And you're like, I just don't want to get harassed. And so what they end up doing is that they just don't go to the bathroom. They go, they stay at home typically, and they use the bathroom at home, and they do everything in their power to avoid any public restroom that isn't unisex. And it's like, I would hate that to happen to me. Like that if I use the bathroom, there is a non-zero chance that there's a crap ton of harassment in turn. That would be bad. And so this is just an example of like, maybe we should use our humanity and just be like, all right, maybe just kind of leave them alone. But the right doesn't want that to be the case, right? They don't want there to be humanity towards trans people. No, what we want instead is vilification, sexualizing them, and treating them like garbage. When at the end of the day, it's a human being. Like, they're due respect just like everyone else. You know, like you don't immediately vilify someone's existence just because of, an identity that they hold. So this is just an example of things that concern me as a person. Honestly, it even impresses me that the fact that there are even trans people even transitioning because of just how openly hostile it is. So I hope that makes sense. Terry M says, why don't you leave other women alone and stay out of their bathroom? Why don't you respect them? You're degrading women. Yeah, I mean, a trans person just needs to use the bathroom. They're not interested in sexualizing the women in there. In fact, if anything, they would want to, if they are in the women's restroom, they would likely want to sexualize men. And so it would actually be better for them if they went to the women's bathroom in that aspect. I hope that makes sense. And also, just FYI, overwhelmingly, even if you took a per capita stance, overwhelmingly the people that sexualize women in women's restrooms are overwhelmingly cis men. It's like not even close. Like cis men, largely. Hey, we're getting a call. Our first call of the day. You're on the line of First Amender.
Hey, I had one comment. You just brought up the bathrooms issue.
Sure. What you got? Before we start, can I get your name?
Al.
Al. How you doing, Al?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How you doing?
Good. All right. What do you want to talk about, Al?
Well, I agree with some of the aspects of what you're saying about people who are trans. The problem is that there are other people who might dress up like trans to go in the bathroom to do perverted stuff, and that's just a fact. So, I mean, once you open that door, so to speak, there is the possibility of that happening.
Well, I mean, I've heard this argument before, and what I think it is that if somebody generally wants to sexually assault women, they don't need like trans people to do that. Like, I imagine it's similar. The way that I can describe it to people is it's similar to effectively, like it's almost like a Scooby-Doo kind of a, plot that you're going to go into the bathroom dressed as a woman to then like access those women's spaces, when in reality, cis men that want to sexually assault women, they're just going to go into the bathroom and do that anyway. So I do not agree with that characterization.
Well, I think there has to be some tolerance for some percentage of people who would do that. You know what I mean? Everyone. Yeah. No,
again, it's overwhelmingly it's cis men doing it, and so it's not really a fault of the trans person for wanting to use the bathroom. Like, do you think that that there ought to be public accommodations in every place where the public can be brought in, where they have access to bathrooms?
Yeah, I think
that's a reasonable accommodation.
Yeah, I think a gender-neutral bathroom and large areas where you have public bathrooms. I think that's not a bad idea. Maybe
but
that's
weren't you worried about women getting sexually assaulted in a gender-neutral bathroom?
One person at a time occupancy, gender-neutral bathrooms.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't think that's actually possible in a lot of situations.
Yeah.
Like if you're talking about like a movie theater or stadium or a place where there's like more than 100 people, right? Like having a single bathroom isn't really feasible. You need to like have a larger area where people can access. I'm just simply saying that, hey, whatever bathroom that the trans people feel comfortable in, just go to that bathroom and just leave them alone.
But other people will abuse it.
Well, they would abuse it now. There are those things happening now, and so I don't find that to be a good argument.
You think some trans people have some kind of a fetish doing that? I mean, that's kind of their main goal, is just going in there and
No, they just want to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Again, it's cis men that do that, not trans people. Trans people do not actually have that, generally speaking. Even if you were to inflict a per capita basis, is much lower a trans woman would sexually assault you over a man. It's not even close.
Okay. Can I bring up one more issue that's kind of related, since we're on the topic anyway? Okay. Is the sports issue. Do you think trans men should be, or trans people should be like a man who's transitioned into a woman? Should they be allowed to compete in women's sports?
Yeah, I think after a couple of years of HRT, I don't see a problem.
They're never going to change their bone structure and muscle structure
I agree.
And biology.
Yeah, I'm aware.
But, yeah, so that's not as
you are aware important. That there exist biological women that have those excess levels of testosterone, and they absolutely do crush it in terms of sports, right? Like women's sports. Like the problem that you're saying exists already with cis women. And so it's like, okay, well, what about those cis women? Do we just say, well, you have like a difference in endocrine structure, and so we don't want you to compete?
if they're a woman, then they're just a bigger person, and that happens in male sports too. But when they're a biological man, that's what I have a problem.
What if I told you that the basis of being trans? What if I told you that
a relatively small percentage of the people have the bisex, or they have the two types of sexual organs, and that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm not even bringing that up. I mean, you do not have to have an extreme genital aberration for this to exist. There's tons of women that just have this. Like, you remember Emaine Killif?
Not specifically.
She was a fighter. She looked very man-like. And the reason why she looked very man-like was not because she was born a man. It's because she had a difference in her hormones in comparison to most women. Genetics are weird, man. They do weird things. And it's like, we celebrate when people have genetic abnormalities that give them a greater edge. A good example of this is, we celebrate Shaq in the fact that he's super big and the dude is a giant among other people, even on the basketball court. You have, Usain Bolt that for sure has a genetic advantage in his ability to run. And we can look at Michael Phelps with his webbed feet. We tend to celebrate these things.
What do you think of Leah Thomas?
I think she should be able to compete. Yeah.
I don't agree with that. She's definitely.
You ever look at her record?
A man's body.
You ever look at her record?
Yeah. She was 500th ranked in men's, and then she became a woman and became a record breaker.
No, she's 30. She's 32. She's 32nd. She's 32nd. So 31 other women were capable of beating her.
She still shouldn't be allowed to compete in actual biological women's sports. That's just unfair.
Well, no, I don't think it's unfair. Again, I bring up to you individuals that have excess levels of testosterone, the exact issue, and would possess a greater bone density structure. And there are women that 100% have that. They can compete. So why not Leah Thomas?
She has a penis.
Okay, but she is taking hormone suppressants.
So
that penis doesn't count for much when you are taking hormone suppressants.
That's not going to turn him into a woman.
Well, a lot of feminizing features, but given the fact that they're operating at the level of a woman, and that there already exist women that have the advantages that you're talking about, being entirely cis, you seem to be okay with that. So what's the difference?
If they're a woman, then that's just nature. But if it's a man, men are just generally bigger and stronger, especially in some sports. What you call a cis woman, I call a biological woman.
Yeah.
A cis woman would be able to beat any man in certain types of acrobatics and things like that. They just stretch and bend differently. But there might be an occasional man that has that, ability to stretch to that point, but they shouldn't be able to compete with the women.
Your argument is that, you're talking about women that have that advantage, and the reason why that's acceptable is because it's a biological, it's just biologically determined, and so that's what makes it okay as opposed to a trans person.
Yes, and okay. I don't think you're looking at you're for women's rights too. I mean, then if you're for women's rights, then this trans issue is infringing upon biological women's rights.
I completely disagree with that.
They're taking scholarships away. They're putting pressure on them.
No, you're arguing as if that they're fighting each other, or that there's that there's limited seats available. They can contribute to society, and they are capable of being a member of that. But I wanted to go back to the biological determinism argument that you had presented. What if I told you that being trans is biologically determined?
I would say I have an issue with that. I think it's more of a mental disorder.
It's not a mental disorder. So here, I'll go ahead and provide it for you. I've linked this study probably about 100 times, but for you, we're going to do it fresh, just for you. Hang
But
tight.
one study doesn't change reality.
No, it's not. It's not one study, right? You're talking about the entire. Hold on. Chill.
Okay. I am.
We're not talking about one study, right? You're talking about the field of endocrinology, the field of neurobiology, the field of sociology, the field of psychology, the field of embryology. All of these fields are able to confirm in their own way the existence of trans people. All of them, right? It's not one study. But I will go ahead and provide you a giant mega analytic study regarding trans people and trans people's brains. Give me 1 second. I'm going to show it. I should probably open this in Chrome now that I think about it. Right click, open with.
I think woke adults are a lot more responsible for this rise in transsexualism than anything. A lot of these kids, they don't know what they are yet. They're too young, and these adults get in their heads and really brainwash them, and all of a sudden
we can discuss that if you want. But just allow me a moment, right? So
get old enough,
yeah. Can you just chill for a second, then we can talk about that instead of gish galloping. Stick on one thing on the biological determinism aspect. So I have here on the Journal of Sexual Medicine that is referring to the neuroanatomy of the transgender identity. It is the mega analytic findings from the Enigma Transgender Persons Working Group. So what they did is the following.
I'm sure that's very reputable.
Yes, it is. Do you see the amount of PhDs that are involved in this study?
Yeah. PhD. That doesn't really...
Yeah, there's like a giant amount of people that are studied in endocrinology as well as neurobiology that provide you this information. So in contrast to cisgendered persons, transgender persons identify with a different gender than the one assigned at birth. Although research of the underlying neurobiology of transgender persons have been accumulating over the years, neuroimaging studies in this relatively rare population are often based on very small samples, resulting in discrepant findings. So the aim of this study was to examine the neurobiology of transgender persons in a large sample. So the methods that they used was using the Omega analytic approach, structural MRI data of 803 non-hormonally treated transgender men, transgender women, cisgendered men, and cisgendered women were analyzed. The outcomes that they observed was that structural brain measures, including gray matter and volume, cortical surface area, and cortical thickness. The results that they found was that transgender persons differed significantly from cisgendered person with respect to their subcortical brain volumes and surface area, but not cortical thickness. Contrasting the four groups of trans man, trans woman, cis man, and cis woman, we observed a variety of patterns that not only depended on the direction of the gender identity, as in towards male or towards female, but also the brain measure as well as the brain region examined. What they ended up finding is rather than being merely shifted towards either end of the male-female spectrum, transgender persons seem to present with their own unique brain phenotypes. So and just so you're aware, here's the exact portion that shows visually what had been discovered. And so what you can see here, they label the first chart here where it has cis men, cis woman, trans man, trans woman. And so that is what you see in these bars here, the left and the right. And what we do find indeed is that there are significant group effects on the cortical volume. Shown are bar error graphs, including means of 95% confidence intervals. 5 different patterns emerged, indicating a statistically significant difference between these groups. Indicates that there were no statistical difference between those groups. Note that the significance was established while removing the variance associated with the age, ICV and p-values, but the scatter plots indicate those raw values. So is this just made up? Do you think that this is socially constructed? Can you socially construct the subcortical volume of someone's brain?
It's not conclusive of anything. It could be just everybody with dysphoria or mental disorders has that abnormality.
Do you think that everybody who is transgender has gender dysphoria?
Many of them do.
That's not true. I'm one of them. Now what?
Well, whatever. But do you think that they've done any studies that have come out that show how many transgender kids are around woke adults?
What the point of what I'm trying to tell you is that being trans is something that exhibits itself as early as an embryonic stage. This is only further found out because of the significant effects of the cortical volume. This is empirically verified. You should also point out that there are other cultures that are able to exhibit the same exact function, however, had been lasting for thousands of years. You can, for example, look at hijras in India as an example. There are groups of people that basically feel like that they are women when they are in fact men. This is something that has been considered a part of that culture for over 1,000 years. We've also observed people who considered themselves they would call themselves differently, say in like the 1970s. Hell, I can bring up, what was her name? Sylvester in the 1970s. Have you heard of her?
Listen, I don't have anything against trans people per se. I have issues with men and women's sports, biological men and women's sports. Yeah. I don't agree with your arguments against that. And then little kids, a lot of times there is a certain stage they go through. And if they're around a woke adult and say, oh, I'm recognizing these traits, that my kid is trans or this student is trans.
Well, listen, I mean, I agree with you that there there is maybe too much thinking that, a kid needs drugs. That's why I follow the WPATH standards for transgender health. What I like to look at is that they have a psychological evaluation by a trained psychologist specifically designed for dealing with transgender adolescents. And then that person can determine whether or not that they need hormone blockers or if they do not need hormone blockers and it's just a simple social transition. 9 times out of 10, these children grow out of it. And that's perfectly okay. That's a part of gender affirming care.
Can I ask you what your first name is?
No, you could just call me First Amender. I've been doxxed before, so I avoid giving out information like that.
Okay, I'll just call you first. But what I'm saying, and we agree on a lot of this thing. I think it's I was always a music fan of a band called Jethro Tull. And there was a keyboard player and music arranger who, later in life, after he had performed and been in the band and been out of it, became a woman. And he became from David Palmer to Dee Palmer. There was no fans of that band that ever gave that person a hard time. They accepted her and everything. But this is a person who had a chance to make a decision as an adult. You know what I mean? And to me, the children, because when you're a kid, everybody knows that, I mean, you're not fully developed and able to make those kind of decisions.
Yeah, I agree. This is why. Well, let me take you through it, right? I can take you through it, and then you tell me like what part that you disagree with. Okay, so I argue in favor of the WPATH standards, which means that there is no bottom surgery until you are an adult. You're not allowed to have bottom surgery. And for top surgery, it is acceptable for minors, but the only reason why is because there's already minors that get mastectomies, namely girls that grow too big breasts or boys that get gynecomastia. Gynecomastia, by the way, is a condition that causes a boy to grow breasts during puberty. And so I considering that those people have that choice, I would say it's perfectly acceptable for trans youth to get to have top surgery. However, for starters, the first step is a psychological evaluation. Determine whether or not that they have actual gender dysphoria. 9 times out of 10, they do not actually have gender dysphoria. They just feel like that they are a man and woman. And so in that situation, you do not actually need to apply hormone blockers. A simple social transition is enough. If something like this persists and, gender dysphoria begins to happen as a result of puberty, that's where you apply hormone blockers. Hormone blockers are designed where you are given hormone blockers for about a couple of years to fully decide if that is what you want to be. And hormone blockers, mind you, is not the same as hormone replacement therapy. Hormone blockers are just applied in order to delay puberty. They're very commonly used during precocious puberty, for example, where a child, for example, will be 8 years old but be going through puberty. This is not typical, and so doctors, they just provide hormone blockers, and then when they're 12 or 14 years old, they get them off of hormone blockers and allow them to go through puberty as normal. They see no negative health effects. I think the only instances of a negative health effect, side effects known are there is the possible fertility issues, and then there is, but that's short term. In the long run, that's actually not the case. And then there's also the fact that there's the calcium loss. Calcium loss, however, is easily mitigated with just a calcium supplement. So now after 2 years,
okay.
right? After 2 years of hormone blockers, they must come to a fully informed decision. The parent, the doctor, and the child must all agree. And if any one of them say no, then there's no go at that point. Parent, doctor, and the child must agree. And then that is where you have hormone replacement therapy. The reason why that you have hormone replacement therapy and then hormone blockers is because it is actually less invasive for them in later adult life, because they effectively fully would pass as a female because they did not have puberty the way that as say, for example, a typical male or a typical female. And so they do not need invasive surgeries later on in life, such as facial reconstruction or mastectomies later on in life. It is just simply modifying what is going on hormonally. That's how it works.
Okay. Well, okay. I understand the criteria you just laid out. Do you think there's any evidence that some of these treatments are causing aggressive and violent behavior in people? Because a lot of these mass shooters have been trans people. Young
there have been, I think, a total of 5 mass shooters out of like 6,000 being cisgendered men.
But of the last ones that made the news.
I'm aware. But just so you're aware, right? Yeah. In terms of shooters, right, it's overwhelmingly men. Even if I apply, once again, a per capita basis, it's overwhelmingly cis men.
Well, it was one of them, the one in, I think it was Tennessee, was a girl.
Okay, but I need you to acknowledge what I just said. Right? So bringing up the shooters is not really going to be a good argument because overwhelmingly it is cis men.
I think the latest ones, and a lot of those.
Dude, there have been over 6,000 shootings, and only 5 of them have been trans people. Do you see the problem? The statistics on that is very much in favor of, even if I took a per capita basis.
The most recent one in a church.
Okay, so if the most recent one, therefore we take away rights for trans people because one person?
Well,
should we take away rights from cisgendered men because they shoot up schools?
I think anybody. I think that they need to have armed people, teachers in the schools. Myself.
Oh, I think that you'd just end up with more dead kids if you introduce more guns into the situation. That's just me, though.
No. Sometimes guns are going to be the only thing that's going to save you from situation. Well,
Yeah.
they stopped that last shooter with a gun.
Well, I mean, like, let me ask you this, right? I mean, we're moving off topic.
Okay.
So I want to go back to the trans topic, but I'm just curious. How many guns per person do we have currently in the United States?
Well, and
It's probably more than one,
can I
right?
just
Considering that there's more guns than people.
Look-
So I'm asking you, how many more?
Look at
How much?
England.
How
Look
many
at
more?
Europe.
No, seriously.
Look at-
How many
no,
more guns do we
I
need?
want to have a chance to make a little point. Look at England. Look at Europe. They banned guns. Now they've been taken over. England's basically a caliphate now, a Muslim caliphate.
No, they're not.
Germany's a
No,
caliphate.
they can kind of
Denmark
just continue
is
to
a Muslim
exist.
caliphate. France is a Muslim caliphate.
Yeah.
Spain is a Muslim caliphate.
It's not.
Italy. Why?
It's none of
They
those
can't
things.
defend themselves.
I don't know. Yeah,
They
yeah.
can't
It's
defend
not. It's none of those things.
They can't defend themselves.
Yeah,
They
they
don't have
can.
guns.
They do have guns. They actually do have guns. You can. Did you know you can own a gun in the UK?
You can own one, but
Yeah,
they're
you're allowed to
they're
own
not common.
Yeah, correct.
You have to
Yeah,
go
and then
through-
you know what happened?
you have to
There's
go
less
through-
shootings. Anyway, let's go back to the trans topic.
Yeah, there's snipings and acid attacks now. And
Yeah.
rapes.
So you want to? Yeah,
They're
yeah.
up
There's not. It's a lot less there than it is in the United
hundreds
States. It's not even close. It's not even close.
Hundreds of
The amount of deaths
of rape.
happening in the United States as a result of gun homicides and deaths is much, much higher than what, even if you take into account knifings and acid attacks. It's nowhere close. Anyway, I want to go back to the trans topic.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, it sounds to me that I kind of debunked all of your arguments.
No, I think I debunked everything. Now, do you think
Did
that
you?
the adult?
What did you
Do you
debunk?
think the adult?
What did you? Why don't you? No. You debunked me. So what? What did you debunk?
Men and women's sports.
What did you?
Men shouldn't be in women's
Yeah, you
sports.
again.
said-
Yeah. You're
I don't
just
think
doubling
you
down on
debunked
your
that.
claim
You said
and not
what's
really
worse.
addressing what
But
I
you
said.
didn't debunk it.
So we're gonna try
You
one
didn't
more time.
debunk it.
Hey,
It's
hey,
not
calm
fair to
down.
biological
Hey, buddy, calm down.
Okay.
All right. So
Yeah.
I need you to address what I had said. Okay. Are
I
you
don't
aware
agree
of
with-
what? Do you remember what I said?
Yeah, I don't agree with this, but I did agree with you on some aspects.
Do me a favor.
I think you're
Do
right.
me a favor.
I think you're right about
Do me a
the,
favor.
the
Do me a favor.
surgeries
Just
after
can you just real
I
quick?
think you're right about that.
Hold on, real quick. Just
Okay.
can you steel man my position on the sports issue? What do you think
Yeah, it's
I
just
believe?
unfair. It's ridiculous. You got some 6'4" dude think that call themselves a woman running in a heat against a bunch of.
Do you know what a steel
state
man
champion
is?
women. It's not fair. It's not fair.
Do you know what a steel man is?
No, you tell me what
A steel man is where you try to argue the other person's position in the most charitable way possible. What do you think I think regarding the transport issue? Right? Try to solidify what I told you.
You said that they should be able to compete against women.
Yes. Why? I'm asking you why.
You're saying because some women, some men are biologically close to women, and therefore that they are endocrinology wise should be able to compete against women. I disagree.
That is
They're
not
born a
the
man.
that is not my
have
argument.
criteria
So
of
what I want you
men,
to do
and they
is
should be-
listen very closely to my
Yeah,
argument. Hold
you
on,
can
pause. You
talk
can't
to
hear
me.
me if you're
Okay.
talking.
Okay.
So I want to make sure that
Okay.
you understand my argument, so that way that there's a consensus there, right? That you can at least address my argument, okay? Because if you don't understand my argument, you're not addressing anything. So my argument is that there are cis women that have the very advantages that you are concerned about regarding trans women. Because we let those women compete, therefore, it would be appropriate that trans women can compete, knowing that trans women is biologically determined. Do you understand?
Yeah. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I don't necessarily agree with it.
Okay.
I don't agree with the term cis man, cis woman. Just call them men and women.
Yeah. Well,
That's
we're
what they
talking
are,
about.
men and women.
So we're talking
They're
about the
men
differences
and
of.
women,
Yeah,
not
it's
cis men.
just a word. We're talking about the difference. Yeah, we're talking about the difference between sex and gender, and we're just
Men and
talking
women.
about where the sex and gender is the same. Most people are cisgendered. Okay, I'm just pointing out if I need to talk about a trans person, then I'm going to refer to them as a trans person, and if I'm talking about somebody who is not trans, I'm just referring to them as cis. Cis just means same. That's it. It's not sissy or anything crazy like that. It's just explaining a person's gender being the same as their sex.
Going along with this whole theory that you're trying to build on, and your argument about the girl who happens to have more masculine traits, but is still a woman biologically. They're a woman, you know what I mean, in basketball. You don't have a lot of white people playing basketball because blacks just happen to be taller in general and stronger and more physically capable to do those types of physical activities, you know, and it's just a fact. Is there white men who can compete with them? Sure. But the percentage of them, it's just the way that people are made up, you know, we're made. But men are, you know, a woman who is a good athlete who happens to have kind of a more of a tomboyish appearance and is a stronger, if they are biologically a woman, they're still a woman. That's so.
Okay.
I don't.
The problem with your argument is that you can actually you're able to determine a person being trans, which is dictated off of their biology. And I agree with you. There is an inherent advantage, but that also exists with cis women. So I see no reason to bar trans women access to being able to contribute in society. Right? I don't see any issue with that.
I don't see any issue with contributing, and if it was me,
well,
I think
joining in sports is part of that. Don't you think?
I would start a transgender sports league. You know,
I would love that. But
money.
If you really want, like, just truthfully with you, the amount of trans people in sports, even while it was legal, like all sports, right? When I'm saying sports, I mean like literally all of it. It's roughly about 200 people. Like it is, and that's all sports, right? And so you're just not going to have a trans league. It's not possible. There's not enough people.
Well, those 200 people, I would just have to tell them sorry. You know, it's just you made the decision. You can't.
No, but do you see the problem, right? Like I want them to be able to exist in society, right?
Yeah, so do I. But I also want women to have their rights.
Yeah, well, women can have their rights. It's fine.
Right. No, they can't.
Yes, they can. They can join sports just like the trans women.
No, they can't.
And then they can compete with trans women in sports. Yeah.
They lose competitions because of an unfair advantage because of a man.
That already exists among cis women. That already exists among cis women.
It doesn't, because those cis women.
It does.
Not cis women.
It does. You should look up Castor Semenya as an example. There's and Emain Kelef. These are women that have naturally more testosterone in their body, and so as a result, they have a huge advantage over that of other cis women. You don't seem to have a problem with them competing. It's just if they're trans is when you have a problem with them competing. So I'm offering you that pushback. But you can't seem to modify or be able to argue your position without effectively contradicting yourself.
I'm not contradicting myself.
Yes, you are, because the reason why you seem to not want trans women in sports is because of their inherent advantage. However, there are cis women that have that very same inherent advantage, but they can compete. Right? Okay, so then it's the literal fact that they're trans is why you don't like it. It has nothing to do with the advantage.
Yeah, it because you're men.
Correct. It's just transphobia. There is no argument.
No,
it's just
not.
I get my fifis hurt when I know that even though I don't watch any women's sports and I get really upsetty spaghetti when there's trans women around me. I don't like it, and I would rather there not be trans people. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
it's not fair to women, dude.
well, it's perfectly fair to women considering that there are cis women that have the same advantage.
Their rights are being violated.
No, they're not. They can still compete.
Yes, they are.
Holy shit, man. You're like a broken record. I really got to get that. I got to get that. You know, I'm thinking of getting a teddy bear, right? And I'm going to have I want to get like a voice box recording, right? Where it's got like a pull string, right? And I pull the string and I'll call it the Republic Teddy or something, like the Republican. I got to work on the name, the Republican teddy bear. And all I got to do is like pull it. And then I just get the common talking points of Republicans, right? It'll just be like 2020 was a hoax. You know, the election was stolen. Coronavirus or like they'll maybe I could do like global warming is not real. Trans women aren't real women.
Well, I'll debate
Would you buy it?
a lot of those subjects if you want.
Would you buy it?
Yeah. Which one do you want to pick?
No, I'm just, you know, I want to stick on one topic at a time with you, if that's okay. But you can call back in, you know, and try another topic, I guess. But
okay.
I didn't find your argument to be convincing. But I tell you what, right? You don't sound like a bad person. I just want to, like, just as a thought, right? Consider instead of listening to, like, you know, people on YouTube or TikTokers or whatever, spend the time, pick up a book on this topic, right? Where it's like an actual authoritative source. There's a source that I like to reference to people. Hold on, let me grab it. So this book here alone just killed any possibility of like any anti-trans argument because it was just so empirical that it was just impossible to deny. It's called Brain Gender by Melissa Hines. Brain Gender. Take the time, pick up a book, read the book, and then come to an educated conclusion on the subject. Because I find very commonly people are very fascinated with trans people, but I find it's very common that among Republicans it is one of the, hands down, one of the least understood topics among Republicans. They do not know what's going on.
And I'd ask you to please consider what I'm saying, how that women's rights are being violated. You're caught up in the trans issue, and I don't have anything against those people. I have sympathy for them in a lot of cases. They don't have an easy life oftentimes because, you know, not a very small percentage of biological men pull off looking like a woman. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, it's just a fact.
You know what's funny about this is that the only ones that you see, have you ever thought, is it possible that the trans people that you see that pass, you don't think they're trans? You only see the ones that don't pass. I'm not
getting in people's faces trying
to
find that out.
I'm saying, I'm just saying, like, I'm saying that you have you likely have a bit of a bias there where you're observing people that are clearly trans, but if you saw a trans person that passes, to you, they would just be a woman. You would not consider them to be trans.
Pass. I'd say 0.1% of all those women.
You'd be amazed how some of these trans people look after 2 years of HRT. You have no idea. You'll grow boobs. Your fat grows in the same place. Your face is different. Your skin is different. You smell different. All of those things.
We just we disagree on the sports and and we agree to a certain extent on the kids and everything. We have a few disagreements there. But otherwise, I don't think you debunked anything. We just disagree, you know?
Here you go. Well, I think well, you don't have a response, though. That's my issue. You didn't consider it.
I consider it.
Let me see if I can give
I get that.
Yeah, so here's a good example of somebody who has had HRT. Let me see if it can. Is it gonna?
Man, once you start messing with the plumbing and your energy system,
this is
and
2 years of HRT.
The after effects of that throughout your life,
bro.
A person who hasn't gone through that, it's easy for them to say, "Oh, this hormone replacement, or just getting your breast cut off, or whatever," unless under special circumstances, which I agreed with you. But you can't live somebody's entire years out. What it's going to be like for them? Are they going to have a normal?
Do you see the stream is about 12 seconds behind? Do you see that picture?
Okay. Yes.
They don't look trans, do they?
Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second, please. I think they do. Yes, I think they do.
I don't think I'd clock that person at all. I don't think I'd be able to clock that person. No way.
I disagree.
All right. We'll try another one. Hold on. Let me see one.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Okay.
Hold on. Give me one moment. What about this one? Can you clock that one?
Hold on a second.
Yeah, it's about 12 seconds behind, so
yeah,
fair enough.
I haven't been paying attention to the screen.
No, you're good. It's about 12 seconds behind.
Okay, let me see here. Let me get it up there. Still not seeing it.
Yeah, wait about a little bit. You may want to also make sure it's live, like you hit the live.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, with this girl here, like I said, I agree with you that there are men who.
Would you be able to clock this one as being trans?
The angle of the photograph and everything. If you saw that person in real life, I probably could.
This is a cis woman, dude. This isn't even a trans person.
Okay, then that's fine.
Do you see do you see what you're doing? Admit it. I got you. I got you.
You got me on.
I got you.
You got me on one too. You got me on one too.
All right. Anyway, did you have anything else for me? Well, it looks like we got to move on.
Yeah, man. I'll call you up sometime and
are you subscribed?
We'll debate January 6th. We'll debate January 6th.
Oh my God. Yeah, we can do that. Are you subscribed?
Yeah, I will. I'll subscribe. I'll make sure.
All right, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm a really small YouTuber, so any amount of subscription is fabulous. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
You have an open mind, and that's all we can ask for with people. We're going to have differences.
I used to be anti-trans.
I'm not anti-trans.
Oh, fair enough. I'm saying that I used to be. And then as time has gone on, I completely 180'd because just more knowledge. Anyway,
yeah,
it's good talking to you.
I just have specific issues. Like I said, I don't have problems with individuals in general. I've met people who are trans. I had this conversation with someone one time, and they had their feelings hurt because they thought of that. And I talked to them for a while, said, and I just explained that it's issues, and by the time the conversation was over, that person was not, feeling bad or anything like that, because I genuinely do want people to have a good life and to be emotionally and, spiritually in tune with themselves. Happy. Exactly. So. just issues, man. That's what it amounts to. And that's where I think where the right and left can come together on specific issues. We might never agree on certain things, but there are certain things we'll have to kind of find some common ground on to go forward.
Yeah.
We can't just be so divisive.
I agree with you.
To where we can't stand to look at each other. So I appreciate your show, man.
Yeah. Anyway, good talk.
Okay, good talk. Thank you.
Have a good day.
See you. Bye.
Now, let me see if I can kill this guy. Hold on. Time 1:10:24. 1:10:24. 1:10:24. 1:10:24. Hold on. Give me a sec. I'm trying to get away from these monsters. All right, here we go. 1:10:24. All right, phones are open. Call in. Phones are open. Ooh, another call. Back to back. You're on the line with First Amender.
I'm good, Amender. It's Chaos.
What's up, Chaos?
How you been, brother?
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Checking out the stream. Saw the conversation. It was a pretty good one. Pretty good.
Do you think that these someone commented saying that the conversation was too long? See ya. And I'm like, man, dude, should I cut it short?
I don't. Maybe if you start timing your conversations with people so that just put a random
that was
stopwatch
40
in the corner
minutes.
so you could.
Yeah, that was 40 minutes.
That's not bad.
Maybe if we reduce it to 30 or something. I don't know.
I think it might get more people in there, definitely.
Yeah.
But
or at least force somebody into
it.
just one topic, right? Like, hey, you can only talk. Yeah. This is probably a good idea. Anyway, what did you want to talk about?
The first thing, I just wanted to make a quick comment about the whole. Remember when I said the word cis and sissy? I think it was brought up in this conversation.
Yeah, I did because you had a point, right? Because it is true, right? Like that people they associate that word with an intense amount of negativity. Speaking of which, did you see my new computer setup?
I don't think I have.
Bruh. Let me show you. This thing is a monstrosity.
Ooh.
It is actually psychotic what I have done. All right, here. All right, it's about 12 seconds behind, so I apologize. But I don't know if you can you read that?
I'm just waiting for it to catch up.
It's about 12 seconds behind, so you make sure that it is set to live and then you're not 20, 30 seconds back.
Yep. Oh, wow. Jesus.
I'm very excited.
That's everything you have. That's everything that's inside of your computer right now.
No, not right now. Not yet.
Okay.
It's not in yet. I have another computer. That's my other computer, my old computer. I've had that computer for 7 years now. So I'm like, listen, it's time to upgrade. It's an old computer, It's done its job. It's 100%. Time, it's time to move on, Anyway.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, it was $4,700, by the way.
Fucking hell, bro.
I know. Listen, I don't spend on stuff like this often. It's just, I'm excited though. It's got a 5090 in it and everything. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
I mean, you're knocking out two things. You're basically knocking out a great streaming platform and a setup. You're knocking out any video game.
The turtle did nothing.
Turtle?
Yeah, I killed the turtle. I shouldn't have done that. I feel bad now.
It's a good investment. I think it's a good investment.
Thank you.
But I actually did want to call in and talk about the Sydney Sweeney situation.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
So,
did you see my video?
So I did.
Okay.
And
what about the latest one, the newest one? It was I think
saw the one.
Yeah, I think
yesterday?
I posted it. Yeah, I posted it yesterday. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the first time I saw the situation was maybe a few weeks ago when I woke up one morning, started watching Piers Morgan. I enjoy Piers. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Anyway.
I wake up in the morning and I turn on Joe Rogan. And then later on in the day, I like to bring in Tucker Carlson. And then
a little bit of Alex Jones sprinkled in.
All right, go ahead. All right, you turned on Piers Morgan. Go ahead.
Right, so I'm going to Piers Morgan.
That was a terrible way to start your day. I just want to point that out. That was an awful way to start your day.
I mean, it's politics. I just go on the first thing I see as political.
In the morning, I like to smear shit on my face.
There's a bit of feces never
to
hurt
get
anybody.
the smell, you know?
Okay, but anyway, so I'm watching, and they bring up the whole topic with the whole Sydney Sweeney thing, and I watched the video, and then at first I thought it was just a troll piece, because Piers Morgan has troll pieces on in videos, so I'm like, oh, this is just a troll piece. So I just don't pay much mind to it. I don't really hear anything about it for a few weeks. And then yesterday I saw your video, and then I'm like, is this not a troll piece? So then I actually went through the video again, and I'm just there like, wait, do people actually fucking think that there's something political or racial that's connected to this American Eagle ad with this white bitch? I'm confused. And then I'm like, okay, is it the fact that the slogan is the double entendre of "you got good genes"? Is that why people are pissed, or are people pissed because it's a random white girl? Because
I think so.
Yeah.
What it is, and I this is what I believe. Okay, I believe because these types of ads, right? You're talking about, imagine there's a giant group of just marketers. Right. And they're sitting around a board meeting trying to come up, okay, how do we sell our jeans? And they're spitballing ideas and they're constantly, thinking about it. And I guarantee you, right, somebody brought up, oh, it's, the good jeans, thing, the ad that we saw. And I guarantee you, right, out of the 20 plus people that are probably there in the marketing team, they probably said, is it a little too racy? And then another marketer would easily say something along the lines of, well, have you ever heard that get woke, go broke? And then there probably was an argument. There probably was people going back and forth about it. And then one genius marketer just sat there looking at each other and says, wait, wouldn't this cause people to talk about our ad? They're like, yeah, it would. And then they're like, yeah, let's release it. And so I believe that the intent is intended to be racy, right? It's intended to cause the controversy, right? And then people talk about the ad, people want the jeans as a result, right? And right now we kind of are in a MAGA atmosphere. Whereas if you, would have released or tried to release this ad in say 2008 when Obama is president, it would have been no, you're crazy. There's no way we're going to associate our brand with racism, but here it's you've got that plausible deniability. The racists love it. And the Democrats are free advertising. So it's a win-win for American Eagle. But yes, I do believe it's racist. Yeah. I think the intent is racist.
It's just weird because you and me are from a time where we actually used to watch commercials on television. So we would go through clothing commercials and everything. And it's I'm thinking to myself, if I saw that type of commercial back then on TV or some shit, I wouldn't even fucking bat an eye. I wouldn't even think anything of it. I'd just be jeans. That's it. I don't, it feels, what it really feels like is, let's say you and me and a bunch of other people are in a circle. One person makes a joke. We both laugh at it, but then another person next to us is ew, that's disgusting. And then we all look at that person but why are you thinking of it in that way?
So
is that the first thing that
just
came
so
to
you're
your
aware,
mind?
right? Out of everybody, most of the US did not think that it was racist, but 12% did think it was. That's a high number. 12%.
Yeah.
That's a really high number. So it's not just me that's observing the double entendre that leads to racism.
Right.
And I get that it's a minority of people, but it is still there. And typically speaking, when you have a company, companies would go well out of their way to avoid associating their brand with anything even remotely racist. And I think because we live in the current Trump America, it is now more permissible and people are more flagrant about it. That's what I believe.
I agree with you. People are more open to being racist now because there is that open barrier. When the Democrats were in charge, there was a whole PC movement. People were like regulated. You couldn't say too much, but now it's more free. People are able to say what they want. It's like, I get your point 100%. Like, I see the fact that if they decided to make an ad like controversial to pull from the left and right to get attention, I can see them doing that. And I agree with you, but I just do not think that this ad specifically is that, because I don't know. It's so weird because it feels like something I would have seen when I was younger. It does not feel like there's racist undertones. It just looks like a random ass white chick just says she likes denim jeans. And then the double entendre is, oh, her parents were skinnier or good looking, blah, 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 made her there. Like, do you see like where I'm struggling, where I'm like trying to find the racism in it, right? I get the word jeans and I understand it could be looked at as that, but do you think that like
you saw that genes are passed down from generation to generation, representing things like eye color, skin color, eye color, hair color and traits. And then it zooms in on her eyes and it says, "My eyes are blue." And then goes, "Sydney Sweeney has great genes," referencing her in a double entendre, her genetics and the fact that she's wearing jeans.
I don't know. I don't believe about the blue eyes. I don't know about the blue eyes.
She says, "My genes are blue," as it zooms in on her and her eyes are blue and she's looking at looking at you directly.
Okay.
So there's a double entendre of both the genes being blue and her eyes being blue.
Okay. That's fine.
And then saying that it has great genes, like, as opposed to what? Bad genes? What would be bad genes? Is brown eyes a bad gene? Do you see the problem?
True. I mean, like, when I think of bad genes, the only thing I think of is, like, and this is horrible that I think of, like, the only thing, but I think of just being fat, which is terrible. Fucking terrible, but but I mean, yeah, I can see the way they, okay. I mean, yeah, you breaking it down like that, I could see them, like, doing that. Because I know how marketing is, very cutthroat. They want their bottom line to be as thick as possible, and controversy sells, right? So, we'll look into it a few more times.
Fair enough.
We're going to lock back in.
Yeah, fair enough. Talk to you later.
I want to digest what you said.
Yeah. No problem.
Heck yeah. But what's it called? Yo, fucking love the conversation.
Thank you.
I see you almost hitting 1K, 751. Very nice.
Yeah, eventually, you know.
You got this.
Yeah.
I believe in you. I'm going to actually be doing a panel, finally got the fucking time, on Sunday, I think 10 o'clock Eastern.
Sounds good.
With Cooley from the No Fugazi podcast, Pure Red Pillar. We're going to be talking about feminism.
Cool.
And he basically, his whole spiel is, feminism bad, destroys women in our current society, rada. I'm actually going to go the complete different direction. I'm going to be like, it's not feminism that ruined our society, it's the internet, and COVID propagated it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just going to completely go a complete different direction. He's going to be so shocked. Because usually he debates feminists who are like, oh, feminism is good because this, that, and the third. Feminism, I'm like, nah, dog, we're talking about something complete. No. Mm-hmm. I'm going to fucking fuck your brain up.
Nice. Anyway, it was nice talking to you. Thank you for calling in.
Hell yeah, bro.
I'll talk to you later.
Of course.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day, brother.
All right, that was chaoswhy talking about the Sweeney Ad. 124.39. Now, Calls are open. I just realized I don't think I put the timestamps on my last live. Let me do that right now. Apologies. Phones are open. You're on the line with First Amender.
Sick. Hey, how's it going, man?
How you doing? Who am I talking to? What's your name?
Well, my name is Wex. I've been on here before. We
Wex
spoke
or
about,
Lex?
Gender and bathrooms.
Wex or Lex?
Wex with a W.
Wex. All right, Wex. What do you want to? You wanted to talk about the transgender bathrooms?
Well, I was gonna revisit that a little bit. The last time we talked, the disagreement that we had was I was saying that people should go into the bathroom that matches how they present, and you were saying that people should just go into whichever bathroom they feel more comfortable going into.
Yeah.
And so I've been thinking about this and then why there was like this break. And I think I thought of a way to like sort of present myself that I think will make it more obvious where we disagree.
Okay.
And so I wanted to give a super controversial opinion, right? I think that men should probably use the men's room and women should probably use the women's room.
Okay.
And I think that solves everything.
Does it?
But, it begs this question, which is like, what is a woman?
Yeah. I mean, are you talking about by gender or sex?
Gender.
Okay. So if you're talking about what is a woman by gender, it's an internal feeling of your sex, and that sex being woman.
Right. Yes. We've had that convo. I had a question for you about this. Is there a person that identifies as a woman and yet is not one? Like, can that person exist?
Yes.
Okay. Can you describe, like, what's that person like? Like, what's the difference between them and the woman?
Transgender. It's literally what a trans person is. You just described a transgender person.
Sorry, I think you misunderstood what I was asking. I meant, is there a person who identifies as a woman and yet is not one? A trans person would be identified as a woman and is a woman.
No, they by sex. You said by sex.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I meant by gender.
Yeah. Okay.
I would say sex is female, right? Female.
So it's an internal sense of your sex, and the internal sense of your sex is dictated by hormones that exist in your brain, as well as throughout your endocrine system, as opposed to your genitalia alone.
Well, right. I mean, that's true for like everything, right? That a
Correct.
human does is determined by their right. And so I was wondering if there's a person who has that feeling of identifying as a woman, like that sense, and yet is not a woman.
Yes.
Like, does that person exist?
Yes.
Okay. Right. And so, okay. Can you describe that person to me? How does that happen?
Yeah, it's a trans woman.
Oh, okay. Jeez, I'm sorry. I don't know where we're missing each other here. Like, I would say that isn't a trans woman a person who identifies as a woman and is a woman?
No. You're conflating the difference between sex and gender.
Well, I think you're doing that.
I'm not.
Like, I would
sex
say,
and gender are
okay.
two different things. What do you think it is? Are sex and gender
Sex
two
refers
things?
to, like, yes, sex refers to the biological characteristics that we associate with like female or male. That's like how we define that. And then gender is the pattern of perception and behavior associated with those characteristics. So it's like the abstract, non-physical essence of those.
That's one aspect. I believe that like in its most basal form, it's an internal feeling to your sex. Because all of those behavioral traits and everything and your desire to like be more like, a specific gender is represented by how you feel internally. You see what I mean?
Yeah, but the gender construction precedes that.
Yes. But again, like it's an internal feeling. It starts with an internal feeling.
Well, it doesn't start with an internal feeling, right? It starts with like a pragmatic categorization of the world.
No, it begins with an internal feeling.
But doesn't like the category of woman and man have to precede that for you to have that feeling?
The category of no. How
can you identify as a woman if we don't have like a cultural construction of what a woman is?
Well, it's not. There are biological constructions to women. There's lots of them.
Yeah. Well, there's like associated
like,
characteristics.
are you aware of like rough and tumble play as an example? Do you know what that is?
You're starting to sound like a conservative here, dude. Yeah.
No, I'm just pointing at like you realize that there are girls that are interested in rough and tumble play, which is a male typical behavior among adolescents.
Right.
So it's
I
like it's
agree
a
that there's
biologically constructed concept. It goes beyond just a social construct.
Well, it definitely begins biologically. I think it arises out of that. But we
So
built
what's
a
your
lot
point?
of stuff like on top of that. Okay, yeah, where was I? I think that you do not bite the bullet that the extent to which you are a gender is not entirely up to you. I think a lot of progressives don't bite this bullet. I think that
What do
there's more
you
to
mean?
being-
No, that's literally
Yeah.
what gender is. It's an internal sense of your sex, and that is dictated by your hormones. I'm literally telling you it's determined.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying, but I feel like you're not hearing me, which is that you can't have that feeling until we first decided upon the category.
No.
You didn't get the category because of the feeling.
No, there are people that get specific hormones that are usually male or female typical. It's not a social category.
I feel like you're blending sex and gender.
I'm not.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I'm
It really
explaining the
feels
whole
to me like
thing.
you want to-
Again, gender is the
Yeah.
internal feeling that somebody feels of what their sex is, and sex is going to be usually XY chromosomes, large or small gametes, resulting in secondary sex characteristics such as fat placement, bodily placement. You with me?
I understand the sexual bit, like the reason that somebody, like a trans person, would want their like sex, their physical characteristics to match how they feel their gender is. Like, I understand the dysphoric aspect of that. But I feel like I don't think that's where that begins. Sorry,
I feel like I explained it just fine,
Yeah.
but it sounds like maybe, I don't
Yeah.
know, you don't like my explanation, or I don't know. What do you not understand?
Yeah, I'm trying to explain it to you. Let me think about it. Yeah, you're good, bro. It seems to me that there must exist a person who identifies with a gender and yet is wrong. And I think that you are defining gender
Is
as
wrong?
that identification. Yes.
I
And yet
don't
is
know
wrong.
what their internal like kinesics are, right? I'm just going
I'm
to
saying
take
if
their
you
word
did.
for it.
Right, but if you did know, if you could know, does there exist a person who has that internal feeling and yet is not that gender?
I suppose it's possible.
Okay, what's that person like? Could you describe them to me? What's the difference between them and a woman?
Well, but I mean, you I just want to be clear, right? You're talking about somebody who does not possess those brain morphologies, yet they think they're transgender. Is that what you're trying to ask?
I guess I don't even really know anymore. Yeah, sorry. It's whatever, dude. Never mind. It was good talking to you.
All right. Good talk.
I'll see you, man.
Yeah. Interesting conversation. I didn't fully understand where they were going with that, but that was Wex, everybody, regarding trans individuals. All right. 133.12. I'm doing what AWOL asked. Okay. Let's see. Electro87 says, gender is a societal construct bought. How can you be wrong about choosing to reject something that culture has forced on you? What? Emancipation of identity is the name of the game at the end of the day. Emancipation of identity. No, it would be the opposite. It would be obtaining identity. We can go up this river and probably kill some dudes. We just killed the dragon. That was easy. Dragon's easy. No problem. Dragon, you got a dragon? Just kill him. He's easy. What are you worried about? Dragons? I ain't worried about dragon. Phones are open. 202-998-5218. Hey, look at that. Back to back, baby. You're on the line with First Amender.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
I got a quick question. So, say if there's a trans out there.
Can I ask you? Hold on, real quick, before you
of course.
start. Can I ask your name?
Yeah, Terry.
Terry. And what did you want this discussion to be about?
Well, just sort of on the trans thing.
Okay, trans topic. Go ahead.
I agree with some of those other guys. A little too long, 40 minutes, but yeah. So on the trans thing, are there trans out there, you think, that are just happy the way they are without hormone therapy or anything like that?
Yeah.
So with that reason of thinking, then say those that don't want to go through any hormone therapy or puberty blockers or anything like that, should they still be able to play in women's sports?
No, I think there's probably it would be reasonable to apply that there needs to be a certain level of testosterone to progesterone levels, and I think that there should be like a general guideline.
Why is that? If that's what they think and that's the way
because
they
of
feel.
the biological
why is
advantage.
That? Oh, there is. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I never denied that there's a
if
biological advantage. Of course there is.
So what if they're over 18 and already have gone through all of their puberty and stuff like that, and they've already developed their bone mass and the majority of their muscle mass? So what about somebody like that? Should they still be able to join in women's sports?
Yeah.
Okay, so even though they now basically they've already gone through puberty and had all their changes in life. So you don't think they have an advantage?
They do.
Okay, well then, and they should still be in the sport?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because there exist cis women who have the same advantage.
No, I know, but that's a really retarded argument because a cis woman is a woman. And I know you're saying, well, but it's a really big woman.
I was just pointing out that the problem that you're concerned with already exists among cis women.
That's a retarded argument. They're a woman, though.
Yeah,
what chromosomes do they have?
That's correct.
Yeah. So
it's more complicated than you think. For example, it's possible to have XY chromosomes but still have a vagina. It's pretty wild. Well, you could look up things like congenital adrenal hyperplasia and people with androgen insensitivity syndrome as very good examples of XY chromosomes but still be female. So, but yeah, that's beside the point. The point that I'm trying to make is that the advantage still exists among cis women. They can compete. So I see no reason why trans women can't compete. I know you're saying
because they're women. That's why. Because
I understand that. You're just going back to that instead of challenging your position. And by the way, that's not really a rebuttal. It's just, hey, they're a woman. Only women get to compete. But then you have to ask yourself, well, what is a woman? How do you discern these things?
That's a great argument. That's a cis. Yeah, but it's a really big woman. It doesn't even really make sense to me that it's a cis woman. No, it's a woman.
That's what a cis woman is.
Still a woman. She was born a woman. And
Do you understand what I mean by cis woman?
A woman. A cis woman's a woman. But it's bigger.
A cis woman just means that their gender matches their sex. Woman.
Yeah, it's a woman.
That's all that means.
That's what a woman is.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So you could just say
I get it.
It's fine.
Why do you have
we're
to put
talking
cis
about
in front of it? Why do you have to put cis in front of it?
Because we're talking about the topic of transgender women. And so I'm trying to make sure that I am going to be accurate in when I'm saying a trans woman versus a cis woman.
A woman. Yeah, a woman.
Why do you have a problem with me saying cis?
Because it's some made up word. That's why.
Are you policing my speech right now?
You can say whatever you want.
I just want to point out, right? It's not the left winger that's policing speech right now, but the right winger that's policing speach.
Did I ever say you can't say it?
You're the one getting all upsetty spaghetti because I'm just saying cis woman. Anyway, so. That wasn't really a rebuttal, though, to my original topic regarding that there are cis women that have those biological advantages, and so they can compete. But for whatever reason, trans women can't compete.
It's a woman. My rebuttal is it's not a man.
That's not.
My rebuttal is
that's not really an argument.
Woman.
I mean, you're just saying, hey, we should exclude them because they're trans.
A man and a woman's different is not an argument. What are you talking about?
Well, I agree. Women and men are different. Yeah. They are different.
Okay, so why are you saying it's not an argument?
Well, because those very same characteristics that you are concerned about already exist among cis women. You're just applying a circular argument and saying, well, they shouldn't be able to compete because they're women. So that whole argument where you're saying there's a biological difference there is completely moot because they're already cis women to have it. You just don't like trans people. You would rather trans people not exist in your society. Hell, I would venture to say you haven't watched any women's sports. I would venture to say you actually don't give a shit about women. Do you believe that women should be able to have, say, for example, should they have access to abortions? Just curious. We're not moving to the abortion argument. I'm just curious what you think.
Yeah, I'm not going to that topic.
No, I'm just curious, right? Because you're very pro-woman, right?
Well, I'll tell
you want to
this.
be like in favor of women, right? So just curious, can women get abortions?
Tells me they don't want to, if a woman
can women get abortions? Can women get abortions?
If a woman
can women get abortions?
They don't want a man,
why can't he answer the question? Just answer the question, yes or no, and then explain it.
In certain applications, yes.
Okay.
I believe what Trump, like in a rape situation or something like that, yes. Or when the woman's life is in danger, yes.
But anything outside of that, no?
Yeah, anything outside of that, no.
Wow, very pro-woman. I love it. It's good work.
Well, how about this?
I see nothing contradictory about this, guys.
Hey, do you think everybody should have got the jab and been forced to get the shot?
Yes.
Oh, see, so you're into the government telling us what we should, but you don't like.
No, I'm into eradicating. Body, right? I'm into eradicating disease.
What? Men can't tell women that they don't think they should, but the government can tell us to get a shot.
Yeah, I think. Well, I think so.
That's really open.
No, it actually makes perfect sense. So what we had is that we had
social justice warrior that you think of. But
yeah. Let me help you out, right? So we used to have smallpox,
and then the other thing is not okay.
Hold on. So just so you're aware, right? Like we used to have smallpox, this horrible, debilitating disease that has plagued us for millions of years. We forced people by law to get the smallpox vaccine, and the end result is we eradicated it. People don't deal with it. People are able to live their life.
Does it work?
It worked.
Answer my question.
Yeah, it worked.
Really?
It worked. We eradicated it.
How good does the COVID shot work?
Huh?
How good is the COVID shot?
How good is COVID?
Does that work?
Yeah, it worked.
No, how good?
Yeah, it saved millions of lives.
Really? Like the government?
Donald Trump himself told you that it saved millions of lives. Do you believe that Operation Warp Speed saved millions of lives? Would you agree with Donald Trump in saying that?
Would you get COVID?
What?
Why don't you let me speak a little bit?
It reduced hospitalization rates.
Did it do what the government said? Did it stop COVID? Stop you from getting COVID?
Nobody ever said it stopped COVID.
No, it sure did. Oh, yeah, they did.
No, they did.
Did they say that
it reduced hospitalization rates? That much is true. It reduced hospitalization rates.
No, I don't believe that. I believe.
I'm telling you, I got to get that Republican teddy bear, guys. Y'all guys are freaking lost.
I'm just telling you. Well, listen, let me talk.
Yeah.
So the only reason that the morbidity rate went down is because we learned more about it, what we shouldn't do, what we should do.
No, we got the vaccine. That's why the morbidity rate went down. Because we got the vaccine.
Okay.
The vaccine played a huge role in reducing deaths.
Can I get back to the trans thing real fast?
Sure.
Have you ever?
I mean, it was you that brought up the COVID vaccine.
Well, yeah, no, I get that. You're right.
Like an
idiot. Have you ever heard of a Dr. Paul McHugh?
Huh?
Have you ever heard of a Dr. Paul R. McHugh?
No.
No, he was the former psychiatrist in chief for Johns Hopkins Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of him?
Nope.
So this was the main guy for psychiatry at Johns Hopkins.
Okay.
He had a study that showing that the suicide rate among transgender people who had reassignment surgery is 20 times higher than the suicide rate among non-transgender people.
Yes.
And he if you read this article on him, he debunks your transition and all this stuff. Overwhelmingly.
Yeah.
So I know you like to show your articles and what people say, but there's tons of articles on the other side that say the exact opposite.
Yeah. So what reduces the suicidal ideation is effectively being able to pass currently, because right now we live in a very transphobic society where people end up being incredibly antagonistic towards trans people. It turns out that when you are ostracized by your family, your friends, your job, that you tend to become a little suicidal. That's what happens. That's why trans people kill themselves. It's sad.
No, I mean, well, no, I totally agree.
Yeah. So maybe not do that.
It's a sad thing.
Maybe not do that thing that causes trans people to kill themselves.
I get that. But if somebody wants to be a turtle, are they a turtle?
No.
Because where I live, there's a lady that says she's a turtle.
Okay.
So is that okay? Can somebody?
No,
be a turtle?
we're not
Can they
talking
be
about
anything they
changing
want?
species here. We're just talking about the difference between gender and sex,
Well, it's almost
which
just
can
as
be
bad as
exhibited.
changing a gender.
Yeah, yeah.
A guy that's born a
it can
guy
be
can't be a girl.
so gender and
It
sex.
can't be a girl.
Yeah, again, you're not understanding the
A
difference
guy
between gender
cannot
and
be a girl.
sex.
Can a guy have a baby? Can a guy have a baby?
Yes.
Can a guy have a menstrual cycle?
Yes.
Well, how's that? How does that
A
happen?
trans man can have a menstrual cycle, and a trans man can have a baby
How's that?
because they're a trans man.
Can a trans woman have a baby?
No.
And can they have a menstrual cycle?
No.
So then, are they a woman?
Yes, by gender.
No, they're not.
It's an
by
internal
gender,
feeling
they're
of your
assigned
sex.
a male or female.
It's an internal feeling of your sex.
Well,
Your internal feeling of your sex is not necessarily aligned with, though it tends to be, with your genitalia.
I'm sort of breaking up. So okay, well, anyways, all right. Well, thanks for the phone call, and I'll listen again.
All right. Are you subscribed?
All right, have a good one. No, actually, I'm not. But
Consider
I've
subscribing,
listened a
man.
couple times.
What, man?
All right, brother.
Here I am spending my whole
Okay.
Saturday, and nobody want to subscribe. Come on now.
I'll help you out.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good
All right,
day.
have a good one. Bye bye.
That call was just what was that? That was we are taking calls. Let me get some more soda water. That was a wild call. Yeah, I'll get there. Hold on. I'm coming. You're on the line with First Amender.
Let's go. How you doing this fine Saturday?
Great. You're very quiet.
Oh, here, let me move closer. Can you hear me?
I don't know. Go ahead. Try talking.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, you're still kind of quiet, but I think I'll have to bear with
Okay,
it.
hold up. Let me try getting on. I think it's just my headphones. So uno momento.
Okay. So, by the way, just so,
Is this better?
it's about the same, but
Okay, so I'm just gonna switch to regular old speaker.
there we go. Much better. Much better. You just got louder.
Okay, perfect.
All right. So, what did you want to talk about? And but what was your name?
I'm Mr. Awesome.
Mr. Awesome. All right. And what do you want to talk about?
Well, I think you opened my eyes a little bit
Oh yeah.
to like the big thing that conservatives complain about with transgenders in women's sports is, of course, the unfair size advantage and whatnot screws up competition. A guy with the same weight as a girl, chances are that guy's going to be able to outperform them. I understand that, but you brought up a fair point that those differences already exist, right?
Yes.
Just among cis women.
Yes.
And so we shouldn't be as concerned about, we should be concerned about that problem, right?
Correct.
I did hear you right.
Yes.
Okay, so, oh, sorry. I'm getting a spam call right now. Okay. I like that, and me personally, I'm not a fan of, the WNBA or anything. So, it just isn't quite as fun as, regular NBA. So, I say, because those differences already exist, and, we should just allow one sport, and because men are just, naturally good at that, unless you are one of those women who are particularly good, but let's just have men's sports, or functionally men's only sports. I don't see a need to have women's sports anymore.
You just want to get rid of women's sports entirely?
Yeah, because like differences.
But women want to
between-
compete.
Well, yeah, they can compete, but like they could compete against men, and then they'll, like in a tournament sort of thing. I guess they'll just lose unless they're good. But like,
No, I don't agree with that. I'm perfectly okay with there being a men and women's league.
So, if there are like differences
Mm-hmm.
between the two,
Yep.
why would we want? Actually, no, I'm not gonna say anything yet. Just walk me through why you would want women's and
Because of the
men's sports.
inherent strength differences that exist between men and women. Performance differences.
Okay, but those differences already exist within their
To a
own
tiny
little
extent, yeah.
category. And so,
But it would be a
That-
much larger extent if you involved
as
all
per-
men.
as per- say again.
It would be a much larger extent if it involved all men.
Okay,
Women just
so
wouldn't be able to compete. I mean, they would just disappear,
men are
like,
going to
overall. Like, whereas, like,
Not all
the
men are-
200 trans
Oh.
people that want to compete in sports isn't preventing any problems for you.
And what if, I don't think it would be preventing any problems right now. What if, like, just me, I don't know many men who would want to compete in women's sports, but like, what if I just wanted to take gold in, rough, the Bloodhound Knights rough. What if I just wanted to take gold in powerlifting competition? So I think
you need to have the hormone levels of an average woman in order to
okay. So
in order
I would,
to do
I would
so.
have to undergo like
What is the typical
hormone
of the
therapy or-
those that already compete? And it's like, hey, can others have that relative hormone level? And that would probably be my criteria.
Okay,
that
so
I would use.
we should start doing like how do we measure hormone levels? Is that through blood test?
Yeah, it's just a blood test.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
got
And this is like
blood
operating at a
tests for
professional
everybody
level.
goes
This
into
is not
sport.
like, this would not be a thing for, high
Oh,
school
yeah,
sports,
like,
middle school
obviously
sports. Like, none of that
amateur
matters.
Obviously, amateur level, like nobody cares. Nobody cares about amateur level.
Yeah.
But,
Unless, of course, if you're the school board of Texas, then you care a lot, and then you can spend 3 days deliberating on banning trans youth from accessing the sport that they want, and then only to find out that the only person that they were discriminating against one individual. Literally, it was one person. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, that is kind of funny. And me personally, I would. I wouldn't care because I just don't think there should be like a men and women's sports because, the differences are.
I think you would just end up with women not
already
competing
exist.
because they wouldn't be able to perform at the same level of that of ordinary men. But I provide an exception for trans women
get-
because while there does exist some level of an advantage if they have the same hormone levels, there are already cis women who have that. So it's effectively a non-issue.
Okay, so I guess that's fair. I don't know. I was just trying to do something funny, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, you can't blame a man for trying. You
No
can't
problem.
blame a man for trying something new.
Sounds good.
I do think my going from irony, funny, haha, I don't actually believe, men and women's sports shouldn't exist. Oh, gosh. To something more serious. I just think the whole transgender thing is a really unfortunate thing.
It's not unfortunate. It's just there's people that
Well,
make
let me
it
explain.
unfortunate.
Let me explain why it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because these poor people who have a real mental illness most of the time, thankfully. They have a real mental illness, a real debilitating condition. These people get taken advantage of by creeps and perverts, and then they become these functionally like kids. You know, they are technically, most of them are above 18, but like they're still pretty young people. These young people get thrust in front of the culture war by these creeps, and you know, unsurprisingly, they act themselves. But it's just a tragedy. Like no one I don't want to see anybody go through that, and so I think that we need to look into the clinics and the the people who run these clinics, and I think most of them need to end up in jail at some point, or at least pay some pretty hefty fines. Because
because of transness?
What? No, not because they're trans, but because they're taking advantage of these poor mentally ill people.
I don't think so. I think that we defunded mental health care in the 70s, and so we now have effectively the prison systems taking care of those people.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
And they're completely incapable of doing so, by the way. They have no ability to do that.
Bring back asylums, baby.
Well, I mean, I think probably I would, first of all, I would not want to call them asylums. I would probably want to be it would come from a level of compassion more than anything. Not like, ooh, you got to keep them in a cage and then elicit strange experiments on them to see if you can cure them of their debilitation. It would be helping them manage the problems that they have and assisting them with that.
Yeah, like you said, if it can be managed, if it can be cured in a sense, because obviously with mental conditions, it's very hard to get like a 100% cure. Anywho, I agree with you. Asylums have a bad rep, but functionally, I would love to see asylums, long-term care facilities where mentally ill people go, especially the ones who are like so debilitated and it's so aggressive that they can't function out on the street safely without being taken advantage of by like drug dealers per se. And, they have to self-medicate.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So,
terrible.
No, as for mental health, but as for the specific, like, trans clinics, the ones that handle specifically transgender cases, I think we should investigate the ones that are tied directly to hospitals or other institutions that will provide surgeries, hormone therapy, that kind of stuff that has
Why? What's wrong with those? Money behind it?
It's a racket.
You're aware that like hormone blockers and hormone replacement therapy is basically completely negligible to these pharmaceutical companies. It doesn't make a lot of money. You could pull up the balance sheets on these things. It's basically non-existent on their balance sheet. It's not something that actually makes them any amount of money. And in fact,
my bad.
Trans people, right, who say get hormone blockers at an early age, and then go on HRT, would have actually less invasive surgery later on in life because they don't need to have mastectomies or facial reconstruction surgery. It would actually make them money to deny them trans care early in.
My bad. Surgeries. The ones linked to surgeries we should investigate because that is rather pricey.
Why? They're just providing this service. Why? It's just surgery. Do you think kids should get surgeries?
It's a service to a poor it's taking advantage of a poor delusional person and selling them something.
Do you think
that
I'm
they don't.
delusional? Do I sound
No,
delusional?
not really.
But I'm an
Are you
untransitioned
a
trans person.
Are you you're a transgender?
I am an untransitioned trans person.
Okay.
So am I delusional?
Yeah, you don't
I came to the rational
you don't-
conclusion to not transition because, honestly, Jesus, how would it affect my job? How would it affect how my family thinks about me? How would it affect my friends? How would it affect, everybody that I know? Will I lose them in my life? Will I be ostracized? Will I? And it's like, and I also live in the state of Florida. It's not any better. It's a freaking nightmare in the state of Florida. And it's like, okay, well, I don't actually have gender dysphoria. So, I'm perfectly okay with being what I am. But I mean, if it was a better atmosphere, I wouldn't be against it. But I made the rational decision not to. So are you going to call him, you think I'm delusional?
Well, it sounds a little delusional because you say you're perfectly okay with who you are. You don't have dysphoria, but also if it wasn't such a bad location, you would transgender.
Yeah, I think I'd be happier.
Not because you actually have the mental illness, but because you feel like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, pardon my French, but that seems a little crazy.
Am I an adult? Am I an adult and I have control over my own body? Can I do with my body as I see fit?
You do, but to my point, that sounds...
So it's not really delusional, is it? It's not really delusional.
A man would want to undergo all these...
Yeah, just because you don't want to doesn't mean that it's different for other people.
Well,
understand?
Yeah, but it's different for other people because they usually have a mental illness.
I don't have a mental illness. I have no mental illnesses.
That's my point. So you have like a step above the usual trans person.
What?
Like,
no. They're due just as much humanity as I am.
Oh yeah, they're still human, but they suffer a mental illness that is making them.
Sometimes, not all trans individuals have gender dysphoria. However, you're aware that being transgender is not a mental illness, right? You're aware of that, right?
Well, we'll get into that.
No. Yeah, we can get into that. A mental disorder is something that has a debilitating effect on you. If you do not have any debilitating effect that impacts your everyday life, it's not a mental illness. You have to have, that's a required criteria according to the DSM-5. So it's not, so while that can be negative feelings associated with being the opposite gender, or of being the gender you do not want, that in itself is the gender dysphoria, not being trans in and of itself, because they've discovered trans individuals that don't have gender dysphoria. You understand?
Such as yourself.
Yeah.
Uniquely crazy ones.
I'm not uniquely crazy. Do I sound crazy to you?
When you say you want to transition despite not having gender dysphoria, yes, that does sound rather crazy.
I don't think so.
Sounds rather
perfectly acceptable. We've
had
trans people have existed for thousands of years.
We've had trans people for thousands of years.
That's correct.
Yeah, we've always had the mentally ill with us.
They're not mentally ill. I've already disproven that. Stop calling it mentally ill.
Okay, forgive me. We've already had people who have gender dysphoria, which that is a mental illness, and then we do have, rough man, soldier of Godric. We have people who have gender dysphoria, which is a mental illness, and then we also have people who are just a little crazy, little up in their head, probably a little too wealthy, sort of thing.
You look at
like you look at like the homosexuals and the trans, the cross dressers of ye olden days. A lot of them came from the nobility. They had too much time
So
on
they
their
should be like
hands.
poor, so that way they
Probably
don't
got to
transition.
their head a little bit. Huh?
So they should be poor, so they don't I think like you likely had poor people that didn't have the monetary conditions to be able to transition. You know, the wealthy who were able to express themselves more freely.
I think you.
But that doesn't
certainly
mean
had
that poor
people.
trans people would not
I think-
exist. It just means they don't have the means.
I think you still had poor people who had gender dysphoria, but not the category of the uniquely crazy individuals.
Yeah, I don't know why you
who
keep calling them
just wanted
crazy
to
individuals. Like, I'm
transition.
not a crazy person. You're talking to me, man.
Again, when you're saying I don't have gender dysphoria, I don't have any need to like my body isn't telling me I'm in the wrong body. It's debilitating.
Yeah.
You just kind of want to do it for funs and giggles.
No, not for funs and
And
giggles. No, it's not funs and
That-
giggles.
Okay, so for why? Why would you wanna go through all that trouble?
Feels good. It's nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
The facial reconstruction surgery, all that, just because it
Well,
feels good.
I chose not to do that.
That sounds
I chose
a little
not to
crazy.
do that
That-
because of the social ostracism.
What?
I chose not to do that because of the social ostracism.
Okay.
To be honest, my
That
face
would be-
already looks
that
pretty
would be-
feminine. Like honestly, I could
That
just
would
grow
be-
long hair and they would probably.
That would be a point to your rational side. The point to the unrational side is, yeah, you still have this weird kind of desire to just do that. I don't know. It's odd. It's odd because
I mean,
Again, you
odd
look at
and
history,
crazy are different
the
things.
people who odd and crazy are different things.
Yeah.
Okay, then forgive me.
Yeah, like
Crazy.
if I saw a
That sounds
meteorite,
crazy.
right?
That sounds crazy.
That's odd.
That
It's
sounds
odd
like you're
to
an
find a
18th century
meteorite,
noble.
but it's not crazy to find a meteorite.
Say that again. I was taking
Like it could be odd to find a meteorite, but it's not make that meteorite or the person who found the meteorite crazy.
So, media as in like...
Meteorite, as in the rock,
Oh,
as in the rock from space
Meteorite.
falling down.
gotcha. Yeah, that doesn't make you crazy unless you think you found a meteorite or you want to find a meteorite and you just never do.
Yeah, I mean, I
But you
feel like
keep
I'm
on
not a
insisting,
crazy
"I want-"
person, but you keep trying to attribute me to being crazy
I don't think I have
because it
to
doesn't fit
attribute-
your
I
world,
think the-
because
I think the
it
sheer
fits your worldview.
Actually,
You can't imagine the
This is
idea
kinda-
of a
this is
rational
kinda
human being
interesting.
coming to a conclusion that they are trans.
this is actually interesting as far as my worldview goes because, honest to goodness, I was willing to take a lot more of a sympathetic approach towards most trans people, and I still am, because it's like they have a deliberate mental illness, gender dysphoria.
They don't.
That's
Not all of them do.
But yeah, that's my point. Not
yeah.
all of them do, and you keep bringing this up, and
Yeah.
evidently that means they're significant.
You could.
enough
I mean,
group.
it's literally on psychiatry.org. It literally tells you, hey, not all trans people have gender dysphoria. In fact, in the DSM, it specifically changed it from gender identity disorder to gender dysphoria because of this very reason.
Well, yeah, that's the interesting thing. Is like, I never heard of this before, but this is like affirming the worst aspects of my worldview. Like, this would push me more and more towards the extreme because it just sounds like an 18th century 18th century noble with way too much time on their hands saying, I want to be a woman.
I
And
don't
then you
know what
bring
this
up,
is supposed to.
all of the rapid
what you're-
proliferation of pornography and like all the shifty stuff with that, and then you bring up like people.
You think that there shouldn't be porn?
historically, huh?
Do you think that there shouldn't be porn?
Well, yeah, porn's bad for
I
everybody.
think people could
involved.
just choose whether or not that they want to be involved in porn. It's up to them.
Yeah, but it's
You're aware. I mean, don't you ever need that?
It's a uniquely
Like, not to be graphic, but don't you ever, like, you know, have man needs? Like,
as far as choosing people to be involved in porn, are you talking like?
I'm asking you,
the
do you use
individual
porn?
Taking of it?
Do you use
Or
porn?
are you talking?
What do you do when the need calls?
You just gotta let it pass. You take a breathe.
You don't wait. You don't. You're aware that causes medical
It's not
problems,
good.
right?
Okay.
Did you know that?
That's debatable.
No, not debatable. For sure, that's what happens.
What would be those medical problems?
Huh? Yeah, you need to
what are
release
those-
sperm. Your body is constantly outputting sperm. Even asexuals need to release themselves once in a while.
And so, if there is, and I have to partake in porn to do that, I can't just.
Well,
it
it helps.
The occasional wet dream.
It helps.
And so, not just, medicating, fulfilling this urge, but specifically going out.
I mean, I'm just saying it's
is
fine. Like, it's
necessary.
not it shouldn't be a big deal. There's no reason why you should make it a big deal.
Well, it is a big deal because it's a uniquely exploitative industry. And then it also has...
Well, hold on. If you're asking whether or not that
Mind.
sex workers should be treated as humans, I believe sex work is real work, and disrespecting sex workers and the way that people think about sex workers, I would absolutely push back against that. But I'm almost positive you don't care about that.
Yeah, I do, because these people...
So you would be
poor
okay
women
with
who
porn,
are-
provided that the women are treated respectfully?
That would be more preferable. I still think that it's a lifestyle that a vast majority of women would not want to go into.
Yeah, again, I
And
think
without-
it's sex work is just real work. And if somebody chooses, it's no different than if someone chose to say go into plumbing or being an electrician. They're providing a service with their body.
Actually, you're providing a product. Because
No, electrician is
There-
electrician and plumbers. That's often a service.
No, plumbing is a service, but sex work is a product. You are
No,
the
it's
product.
a service.
Because there is...
It's a service.
because
You are using your body to enact
you
an
don't
action that
want-
somebody wants. It's a service. It's not a product.
No, it's a product because
No.
your body, particularly with women, can be only used so many times before it goes. Nobody wants it anymore.
What? No, people always want it.
Then how come you never see any old?
It's like
or-
eating.
except for a few freaks.
There are
you
old
know,
prostitutes.
Like I said, few freaks and porn's effects on the mind.
All right. Well, I mean, you
But
were saying that
the
there
vast
wasn't, and then you're
majority-
now just saying, well, there's freaks, and it's not really an argument, is it? You're just being degrading to those women.
No, I'm degrading to the men who are taking advantage of those poor.
They're not
poor
taking
women.
advantage. They're consenting. They're two adults consenting.
Just look up the substance abuse among.
I agree with you. It's a concern.
Sex
Yeah, we should
workers.
up our mental health, and sex work should be considered as real work. So that way, that's not a thing.
Or counterpoint, we just don't glamorize and over sexualize our culture, and then boom.
Well, you could choose
We
to
just
not
ja-
be
we
like
just
sexual in an
jail
over sexualized
pornographers,
culture. It's
and
just
then-
people have a right to do that. That's my only argument.
People have a right to take advantage of women and get them addicted to drugs and
No,
make them live in this horrible,
No.
horrible place.
no,
Or
I never said that.
pornographers have the right to exploit women's youth.
Yeah, again,
And,
if you make it real work, then that can't happen.
pornography's legalized as far as I know. And given the wide
but because of the scandalous nature, women often can't find help. And if they're a prostitute, 100% they can't find help. They literally get abused on a daily basis because of the illegality of their profession.
And yet, the legal profession of pornography still has the same, or I would wager it would still have the same rates of substance abuse.
Great, fabulous. I would have
stopping these people from going to a therapist.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be there's substance abuse in every field that makes a lot of money.
Do we want to go into per capita, or I guess it wouldn't be per capita.
Substance abuse is really common if you make a lot of money. And porn stars make a lot of money.
Is it more common among sex workers? Particularly
across like what, CEOs? I probably would venture to say it's pretty similar.
Let's go into that a little bit, because at least even the CEOs are in such a position that, and perhaps this is just the obscene amount of wealth that they make, but they're still able to get right around.
Yeah, that's correct.
Negative effects of drug use.
No, well, it's very negative. Except it's just ignored because they're rich.
I don't think it's ignored, because if you look at celebrities, if you look at CEOs, I mean, everybody was making fun of Elon Musk tweaking out at the White House inauguration ceremony.
Yeah, wasn't that wild?
It's a literal joke that he goes on a ketamine bender and like pisses off everybody on the right. I don't think it's ignored. And then you have the the next level of it is like the Diddy parties and these like elite sex and drug parties. I don't think that's ignored either. It is ignored by the people who run these sorts of things.
It's ignored by Republicans.
Yes, it is. It is, because
Donald Trump
and Democrats.
No. Democrats want the release of things like the Epstein files. The Republicans keep kind of like shuffling that around and bringing up other topics.
The Republicans want to keep shuffling around, but
because Trump is implicated in it.
The Democrats had control of the president.
Yep, they were doing an investigation on it, and they were midway through the investigation. That's correct.
Well, they had, at least according.
I just want to let you know that it's not like that they weren't doing anything. They were actively investigating.
No, they were doing something, but it was.
Yeah, so like the idea that they weren't doing anything and nothing was being done is bullshit.
No.
That's a common right-wing talking point that's just wrong.
It's the same thing the Republicans were doing.
Yeah.
Hey, we're investigating, guys. We're investigating. Trust us, guys. We're investigating. And then boom, nothing happens. Nothing ever happens. Like, if you honestly believe that given 4 more years of Democrat rule, we would have got the Epstein files released, I think that just adds.
No, I just think that Republicans they don't have a response to it, and so they have to bring up the Democrats in order to. It's like a whataboutism.
No, I totally agree with you that the Republicans
just release the files. Like, what's the problem?
Exactly, I agree with you. Release the files.
Yeah.
Release the files.
Anyway, it's been roughly about 30 minutes. I'll give you the last word, and then we're going to open it back up.
Oh, okay. Well, basically, a bunch of subhuman freaks take advantage of mentally ill people.
I'm not subhuman, and I'm not a freak. And I find that to be a very disparaging remark, and I would hope that you take that back.
You're
talking to me.
I was talking about the people I was talking about, the pornographers, the people who do transgender surgery. They are the subhuman freaks.
No, those are not subhuman freaks. Those are people providing services.
You're a little odd, I'll give you that, but you're not a subhuman freak. The people who do these surgeries, who do these, take advantage of these people, They're freaks. They're subhuman.
I disagree with that completely. They're just providing a service of what is medically efficacious standards. Anyway, go ahead and finish up, because Jesus Christ.
They deserve to be put in jail. And
all right. Well,
yeah,
if you put people like that in jail, I think people like you should go into jail, because you're going against basic human rights.
Basic human rights to have someone.
All right. Had enough of that. 2:20:06. Calls are back open. Call in. Calls are open. You're on the line with First Amender. Hello? You're on the line with First Amender.
Hi,
Name and topic?
Mark. Trans
topic. Could you just give me a quick second? I have to use the potty real quick, and I'll be right back.
All right.
All right. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Well,
What did you want to
What was
talk?
your name?
You wanted to talk? Oh, First Amender. You can call me First Amender.
okay. So I just heard you a little bit earlier, and it was only for a few seconds, but you were saying something about cis with the other gentleman there.
Yeah.
And so I just want to test your logic real quick on this.
Okay.
Do you even know the origins of cis? Genuinely, I have no idea.
Cis is just
What
a
is
Latin
that?
phrase. It's Latin.
Okay.
It just means same.
So is a trans woman a cis woman?
No.
Is a trans woman a woman?
Yes.
Okay, so do you see the problem in that question right there? Couldn't that come across as transphobic?
No, I don't see a problem.
You just created a group of people and are now changing their
I'm just
label.
describing people where their sex doesn't match their gender. When I'm saying woman, I'm referring to woman by gender, not by sex.
So now the new definition of woman.
It's not a new definition. It's well understood. It's been around since the 1970s. It's only recent that it's come into vogue. It's not new.
So what happens?
And there's also multiple cultures throughout the world that acknowledge third gender forms, such as Hijras in India. They're literally understood trans people thousands of years before the West.
So, but do you see the problem with labels? There already was a label for trans people. Now you say trans women are women. The new definition.
Yeah. No, it's just by gender.
The new label for women will now be cis women.
No, they're not. They're not cis women. Cis women just means that your sex matches your gender. That would literally be not a trans person.
What happens when the public dialogue starts changing? Starts saying
Well, we change words all the time. That's really common.
You don't see the contradiction in how this plays out, your progressive ideology, as it keeps moving forward.
No, I don't.
Everybody starts
Why don't you
referring
educate
to
me?
women. Go ahead.
I don't see the contradiction, and nor do I see the problem of what causes this happens in society. Why don't you help me out?
Well, I'm just saying, if everybody starts
Treating trans people as individuals and with respect, like we do just any ordinary person? I can't even imagine how horrible society would be if we treated people like people.
No. It just look at it as this thought process plays out, this progressive thought process.
All right. Why don't you help me out?
The new term for women will become cis women.
Huh?
The new term for women will become cis women. There's no reason to even.
I mean, you could just say woman. It's okay. I mean, we're talking about trans individuals, so I'd like to specify by saying cis. So that way you understand that when I'm referring to, a person where their sex matches their gender, I say cis woman, right? Instead of saying woman, because there are trans women and they are women. And so, but it's a difference of gender and sex there. So I say cis women to be clear. That's all.
Right, but they're not a woman. It's like you now.
Yeah, no, but by gender. Do you understand that there's a difference between sex and gender?
I mean, not really, but that's a whole.
So gender is an internal feeling of your sex, right? And it is separate. It can be separated from your genitalia. Right? It's
right,
like
so why
an internal chemistry that happens in your body. Huh?
So why call them a woman?
Because by gender, there is a typical set of hormonal characteristics typical of that of woman that results in specific brain morphologies closer to that of woman.
So why create a new word for women of what for all?
Because their internal sense of sex is different from their genitals.
But it just makes it more confusing now.
It's not. It's just yes, and it's just adding to it. It's not circumventing anything. Men and women it's still the same thing, right? I'm just yes, and trans women. Understand?
Yeah. All right. I got another question for you then on this matter. What benefit do trans people have to society?
They can contribute.
Right. Can they procreate?
Yes.
Okay. All of them.
Yes. Typically.
If you
everything's
take
working,
transgender ideology to its end goal.
It's not an ideology. It's just an identity. It's like saying black ideology or white ideology. It's not really that. It's like just an identity. It's not really an ideology.
To realize themselves and to change their parts.
Not all trans people change their parts. In fact, most don't.
So most can procreate.
Correct.
Okay. That's an amazing worldview. Okay.
I mean, trans men can have babies, and trans women can gestate and give sperm to those with large gametes. So yes, they can procreate.
You see that as a net benefit to have the more transgender in your society. Will it benefit your society?
I mean, it could be trans. That's not immutable. Or at least I'm not aware if it's immutable. I'm almost positive it's not immutable. It's just a genetic mutation.
Do you think it is a social contagion, or are we born trans?
You're born trans.
There's no social aspect to it.
There's a level of social aspect to it.
What would you say that is?
I think that there's probably it's gotten into vogue and people talk about it, and there are people that are trans but don't come out, and that there are people that are not trans and want to be trans.
Like a percentage. What would you say of it?
Percentage
Is it
as opposed to
social
what?
a
I need a percentage too. Percentage to what?
Like how much of it is influenced by as a social contagion? How much is it you're born with?
I don't know. Not sure.
Would even saying that come across as transphobic under your progressive worldview?
Yeah, you call the person's identity an ideology. That's transphobic.
Okay. Are the, I don't know the studies. I've heard this from other people. Would you disagree with that? Kids with transgender parents or gay parents are more likely to turn out gay.
That
Or
wouldn't surprise me at all.
So the more trans people in a society.
No, it's like when you create an atmosphere that's more accepting, they're more willing to come out. Right? It's not that there aren't those trans people or gay people in the super Christian household. It's just they just hide it.
Which is a negative in your view?
Yeah, horrible. It's horrible. It's like persecuting somebody for being left-handed. It's horrendous. It shouldn't happen.
What about having humanity before and after you're gone to be thriving? Is transgender ideology a net negative?
I'm going to ask you one more time to stop calling it an ideology. It's a person's identity.
But if they're less likely to procreate, less likely to have a sexual deviant behavioral offspring.
Yeah, again, you're bringing up. I don't know why you're bringing in sexuality into it. I didn't say anything regarding sex. All I said was regarding sex and gender, as in not like having sex, but like XY chromosomes, XX chromosomes, large, small gametes, secondary sex characteristics. That's what I'm referring to when I'm saying sex, not having sex.
Well, I mean, I'd like to hear you prove more why they are a benefit to society.
Because they're people, and people can benefit in society.
Right. I'm not saying that. I'm saying more. How is it
like I would identify myself as for sure trans adjacent. And so like, what do I contribute? Well, I'm a systems administrator. I fix people's computers. I would like to continue existing if that's okay with you. And fix your computer.
It's not a personal attack. You don't make it personal.
Well, no, I'm just pointing out that like I would like to exist. And, you know, right now that is not what the right-wing establishment wants. You're asking whether or not that I contribute to society. Well, I do. And there's lots of trans people that contribute to society just as any other human being does.
Well, like, how long does society exist without a thriving young generation to take over? And the likelihood of having...
Yeah, again, you could still have babies. Also, there's also an evolutionary advantage towards gay couples. Did you know that?
No.
So among mammals, one thing that happens is that babies get abandoned. And when there is a gay couple, they basically just adopt children. This is like throughout the animal kingdom among mammals, where they just adopt children that aren't theirs. So it actually possesses a strong evolutionary advantage in that it allows them to survive and have a chance as opposed to just die in the woods.
Give me an example of the species that does that.
Humans?
You just said all. I thought you were referring to every species.
Mammals. Most mammals.
Like besides humans?
Yeah.
Which, like, name one?
Monkeys.
Okay.
Apes. That's another one.
Even with the humans example, though,
Dogs do it.
there is no.
Cats
That's a false.
I'm just pointing out, like,
There is no shortage of people there's a huge waiting list for adopting babies.
yeah. So gay people should be able to adopt children. It's good for society.
No, there's a huge waiting list even for heterosexual couples to adopt babies.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with gay couples having babies.
Right, well, I would argue that's wrong, but that's not what I'm saying right now.
It's wrong for gay people to adopt children?
Not healthy for the children, though.
It's not healthy for children to have a loving gay couple?
No.
I mean, I think, like, if you just have a loving couple that takes good care of their kid will be just fine. There are abusive cisgendered people, just as there could be an abusive gay person. The problem is the abuse, not whether or not that they're gay.
But the exception doesn't prove the rule. If you have a healthy...
No. The individual proves the rule. The individual. You look at individuals, not try to apply a statistical generality to individuals. Because sometimes the opposite is the case, and it causes you to be 100% wrong. It's like, for example, like when you say men are taller than women. Yeah, that's true in general. But are there women taller than me? Yeah. So if I've met a tall woman and I said, well, but women are shorter than men, I'd be wrong in that individual instance. And then you say, well, the exception doesn't prove the rule, but that still makes you 100% wrong.
No, but if you take equivalent...
That's a great argument, dude. No.
Same IQ,
dude,
same
that was
income,
excellent.
The heterosexual couple, there is no way that a gay
you don't
couple...
You don't think it's possible that a gay couple would be better at taking care of a kid than a heterosexual couple?
It's possible, but again, that's not going to be the average outcome.
All right, well, but what if that is the outcome?
I mean, you'd have to demonstrate that. It just goes against human nature.
You ever hear about the little boy who was, oh man, every time I bring this up, I'm going to start crying. All right. You ever hear about the little boy who, it was a child that had a gay couple taking care of them. The mother didn't want it. And then, like, when the kid was about 7 years old, the mom wanted it for the child support, as well as wanted money from the state. And so they took the state gave him back because it was their blood related mother wanting the child back. And then they proceeded, the mother and the stepfather proceeded to abuse the hell out of the child to the point that they had bruises everywhere, and they gave them constant punishments. Some of the punishments were making the child eat cat litter and cat feces. Don't you think they probably would have been happier with the gay couple, the loving gay couple? Like, he was actually happy with the gay couple as opposed to their...
I'm saying there's probably many examples of kids coming out great with gay couples, even straight.
Yeah, so maybe the fact that they're gay is probably not an indicator.
It is, though. If you go on averages.
But the problem with your argument is that you're applying an average to an individual. Black people have a higher propensity to commit more crime. Do you think black people shouldn't be in society?
I mean,
dun, 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 dun.
I don't even know how to answer that question. What do you mean shouldn't be in society?
Yeah, like, should you get rid of them?
Get rid of black people?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. If everybody thought that...
Do you find that to be a reasonable response? Is that reasonable?
Is there any consequences to doing that?
Yeah.
What?
Well, the giant human rights violation that you're doing. And the
Outside-
ridiculous amount of millions of people of suffering that you would cause. Would that be a justification as to why you shouldn't do a thing, maybe? Imagine like where it's like if I said, I think we should poison the water supply for like 5 million people. And then you're like, why would you want to do that? And then I would say, well, can you imagine, isn't there any benefit to not doing that? Like, who the fuck are you? The Joker?
Well, I mean, you gave a very vague hypothetical.
Yeah, no, I'm bringing up the generality and how you don't like revoke people's rights because of a generality. You look at individuals instead. And so once again, I mean, I'm just bringing that back home. I don't know, man. I would really rethink the society that you would want to live in, because you're ultimately making society worse by wanting to subjugate the minority. I mean, let's be fair, right? Oh, Abdeos just, I don't know if I said that correctly. There's no way I said that correctly. Just subscribe. Thank you very much for the subscription. So like the society that I want to live in is a society where pretty much everybody can live their life as they see fit, and provided that they're not hurting other people. I don't see how trans people are hurting other people. I don't see how, let's say a religious person would be hurting other people, provided that they keep their religion to themselves. I don't see this as a problem. It would be a better society to have an inclusive society than an exclusive one. Because then more people can contribute.
Right, and then everybody feels good.
Yeah.
It feels right.
Yeah, it's great.
What if that society fails and it collapses within one generation?
Well, to be fair, right, it would actually collapse with your idea, because there have been fascist societies that did exactly what you're talking about, and those societies collapsed because people fought against them.
You're now starting to frame what I was saying. I was playing along with your hypothetical in your worldview. You said if it ends violence, would you do it? Yes.
No, I wouldn't. It would result in worse outcomes than to just leave people alone.
Are you a Christian?
No, I'm an atheist.
Okay, right. I was playing along, assuming your worldview, that if it reduces harm, why would you not do it then?
If you're talking about a reduction of harm, then yeah, I would do it. But that doesn't reduce harm. It would cause untold harm and suffering. You're subjugating a whole group of minorities on something that they cannot control.
Right, but in the long run, if crime goes down, that means you're reducing harm.
No, not really, because you're subjugating a minority to a ridiculous level. It would be horrendous. It would be really bad.
If you could, they disappear. Would you do it then?
What?
You just said black people commit 50% of the crime, violent crime.
No, I didn't say that. I said, hey, they commit a majority of the crime. Should we get rid of black people?
Okay.
I asked you that question.
Right, and I'm switching back to you. If you could push a button, they disappear. There's no harm done, but it benefits society. Why wouldn't you do it?
A bunch of people are disappearing. I can't even imagine the untold suffering of that.
That's how I was answering your question.
Yeah, no, that's
earlier.
insane.
I think you started framing it in a different way, as if I want to massacre people, which I don't. It's your broken secular worldview is what I'm getting at.
I mean, you're the one that seemed to be arguing subjugation of a minority of people, whereas I'm saying, hey, we should just leave them be. And you're like, it's your broken secular society. But it turns out that the most high quality of living standard societies in existence are all secular societies. And societies that are theocratic, for example, live staunchly horrible quality of living standards, because it's often subjugating the haves and the have-nots, often by the religion that they're a part of. So, right, my society kind of does better, like just FYI, like empirically it does better. Like you'll find that secular societies such as the Nordic models, those are all secular societies. They live the higher quality of living standards than, say, I don't know, the entirety of the Middle East, which is mostly a theocracy.
Right.
Where would you rather live, Denmark or Saudi Arabia?
Again, I'm
Just
I would
curious.
pick Denmark every day
Why?
because I'm white. Why would you not want to be around
Because I'm
white
white.
people?
Well, I'm white.
Everybody wants to live around white people. I know.
Are you
all
okay?
your
Are you
examples-
okay with being around brown people? Do brown people worry you?
I prefer to be around white people.
You
Do
prefer
I-
to be
do I
around white people?
respect black people or brown people? Yes.
So you're just like a racist?
Are you going to deny
Wow,
that there's any?
that was a really fast pivot. Are you a racist? That was just a simple
I'm
yes
a
or no
ra-
question.
You just got done saying black people commit crime. Isn't that a racist statement to make?
Well, I would ask, what is the reason why? The
Why
reason
don't
that
you
I
go
have
to-
is because of bad socioeconomic conditions that the white man has put onto minorities, which has resulted in higher crime rates. So I believe it's an inherent systemic issue that white people have propagated.
So if you associate with more people of color, are you less racist?
I mean, if you're not bothered by them, yes.
So,
But simply
so why wouldn't
associating
you-
doesn't
why
mean
would
that you're not
you
bothered by them.
to be the most least racist person in the world and go live in Atlanta, go live in Detroit or Chicago, the inner city,
Okay.
to prove how little racist you are.
Okay.
I mean, just
I mean,
your
you're
logic
just like
is-
saying, well, actually, you are a racist. If you go to these states that have bad socioeconomic conditions, you'll be like, wow, I hate that race now. Like, do you hear yourself?
Would you want to live in the Middle East?
I'm just
or,
curious. Like,
or
would you like? Just
What's your
curious. Like, do you just for fun? Like, do you talk this way, like in public, Mark?
No.
Why?
Yeah, I do to my friends and people I work with, but even then you got to be careful because you will be socially ostracized
Yeah.
as a Nazi. and be
Yeah.
welcomed
Well, you
evil.
sound like a really nasty person, man. Like you sound like you have a lot of hate in you. You sound like you need help. You need to like talk to a psychologist. Seriously.
Why?
Well, because
Why would
you're
you-
looking
why
at
market
people's
segmented?
like inherent characteristics. Like, let's be honest, right? What if I told you, right? Why don't we let me give you an example, right? Wouldn't it be a good idea to say, get rid of the people that commit the most crime? You know, push them out of society.
I mean, I'm just
Like the
playing
most
along with
violent
your
crime.
And with Christian values, I believe all human life has value, and you try.
No,
to,
you don't. You
Yeah,
just
I do.
dehumanize me.
But that doesn't take away.
Do you think
That
Jesus
we
would be
are-
in favor of you attacking trans people?
to be
Do you
around
think
your
that he'd be
people.
like, wow, you're such a cool person, based? Do you really think that Jesus would think that?
Yes.
You may want to pick up your Bible, buddy.
Jesus
'cause
and God is
Jesus would not
logical
agree
reason.
with that.
Again, what did I say that was evil? You said I need to see a psychiatrist. What did I say that was evil?
You just said that you don't like to be around black people.
No. I said I would prefer to be around my own race, as would black people say they like to prefer to be around their own race. We naturally segregate
Weird.
ourselves.
No,
Like, you have
we
to
don't.
be-
We don't naturally segregate ourselves. That's a myth.
Oh,
We
don't
naturally
segregate.
yeah, like, dude, have you ever done a 23andMe? Have you ever done one of those?
No.
Yeah. Has anybody ever come out as like 100% white? No, they don't. They actually have a giant mix going back thousands of years, right? It's literally every single person. It's like, oh, you're 26% this, you're 40% that, you're 70% that, you're 1% this, you're 12% that. It's like, okay, well, everybody's mixed. Right. So this
race
idea
doesn't-
that like people self-segregate is bullshit. Total nonsense. I have no idea
What do-
where right-wingers get that from.
Go to a prison. Go to any jail.
Yeah. Do you think that, like, I don't know, prisons are like regular society?
Look at every
People,
spot in nature.
what, dude, look at prisons, bro. People put cigarettes in their butthole.
Oh,
Don't
that
they?
sounds so-
Look at prisons, bro. That's like how they do that in society, you know, where they put cigarettes in their butthole. Don't you think that there's probably a difference there? Jesus Christ. That was one of the most brain rotted things I've ever heard, man. That was top tier brain rot.
Anywhere in nature.
I wish
where-
I can only hope like that one day that you're capable of realizing just how brutally stupid you sound right now.
Go ahead. Yeah, explain it to me.
Why you sound brutally stupid?
Why are you against inmates putting things in their butt?
What? I'm not against inmates. I'm saying that
Why are you
holy
making fun
shit.
of them
I'm
for that?
saying that the factors are different. So people do different things when they're in areas that are different. So I don't think prisons are like society.
So why is the entire globe segregate itself now?
They're not. The entire globe all has mixed race. Every single
They
one of
all
them. Everybody
have
is mixed race. Everybody.
So race isn't real.
Correct.
So how can I be racist?
That's correct. You did it.
So how
You
can I
did the
be
thing.
racist?
Huh? Well, because
So
you like
how
to
can-
segregate people on the basis of race, which is made up. That's how you're a racist.
Race isn't real, so there is no such thing as racism.
That's correct. No, there is racism. People use race to segregate people and treat them like garbage.
Even though it's not real.
Correct?
Okay. I guess that's the end of that logic trail
Yeah.
there. I don't even know what they're being accused of at that point because there is no such thing as race.
Well, sadly, it has been 30 minutes. I hope you reconsider your worldview and stop listening to people. Do you listen to, like, who are your podcasts? Who do you like to listen to? Mark.
Andrew Wilson.
I fucking knew it.
Nick Fuentes. My boy Nick. You know that one?
Yeah, well, glad to have you here because hopefully I can change your mind with due time, but it's not an instantaneous thing. Anyway, I got to hang up. Hope to talk to you again. Okay, Mark?
Yep. Bye.
Thank you. Got another call here. You're on the line with First Amender.
What is up, First Amender? Can you hear me clearly?
I sure can. Is this AWOL?
So how's your day going so far?
What? Come on, answer me. Was that... Is this AWOL?
Yes, it is.
Okay, how you doing, AWOL?
I'm good.
All
How's
right,
your day going?
Let's stick to one topic, okay? And we're going to keep it to 30 minutes, right? I've been doing this for everybody. We've been doing it about 30-minute intervals. So, but what do you want to talk about?
Well, you said a lot of interesting things today, so I wanted to talk about the porn topic.
Porn topic. All right. What about it? What do you want to say?
First Amender, you claim that you care about women's rights and you want to protect them.
I sure do.
Then, if that's the case, why do you not see porn as something that's exploitive to women?
I don't believe it should be. I think it is exploitative now. I think you can change it to where it is no longer exploitative.
Okay, but right now you can see that it is, right?
Yes. Very much
so. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's good to advocate for it then, if you already know that it's a problem?
I wouldn't target the porn as the problem. I would target the exploitation as the problem. I would be like, okay,
right,
we need to increase worker rights in the porn industry. That would be my solution to that problem. Make sense?
All right. It does. Who do you think benefits more from the porn industry, men or women?
Men.
Okay, so you're sending women into a meat grinder then, aren't you, by advocating for them to go into porn?
Currently. I'm not advocating women go into porn. I'm just simply saying women that do go into porn, we should treat them equally. Just like you would a plumber or an electrician. There shouldn't be the stigma associated with it. It is something that people like. and they're providing that service. And I don't think it should be considered degrading or humiliating. I think women should have that choice.
Okay, first, I think this is another one of those moments where your empathy is making your logic lopsided. How can you do porn and not be degraded in some way, shape, or form?
Well, I think that is because of the stigma associated with it, that is the thing. But I think if you remove that stigma, then it would not be a problem. It would not be seen as a big deal. Take, for example, when I went to Amsterdam into the red light district. I didn't get a prostitute, by the way. I'm way too much of a bitch. There's no way I could do that. The women are very much respected. They're treated as like effectively on a pedestal. It's like, you know, you don't take photos, you don't talk to them nasty. You are not allowed to be doing that, right? You're just going to get in trouble, right? They're going to be like, all right, well, we don't want you as a customer if that's the way you're going to treat our workers. It's like treating a waitress that way, or you know, an electrician or a plumber. It's just bad. You don't do it.
Okay, that's all very interesting first, but it doesn't disprove my point. If you already can see that the industry itself is run by evil men who exploit women, and you're currently saying right now in this live that porn is okay for women to get into, aren't you advocating for them to take a path that's negative?
No. I'm saying that we would want to change the industry for it to be less negative, not say just because a woman chooses that we're going to demonize them for it.
Okay.
And also, I'm not advocating that women go into the porn industry. That's not what I argued at all. I just said if women choose, that's all.
Okay, but you also said that if they... All right. Let's not say that you're advocating, but you don't have a problem with it, correct?
No, I don't have a problem with the porn industry at all.
Okay, so let me go on to another point then. Do you think that porn helps men or hurts men?
Does porn help or hurt men? I think if you use it too much, it hurts. But in moderation, I don't see any issue.
Okay, good enough. So you will agree that there's some negative effects on men?
Sure. Yeah, men can get addicted to porn, for example.
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Would you also say that there are women who might have the same negative effect?
Sure. There's negatives to anything, though.
Well, yeah, I would agree, but I'm trying to figure out what's the pros and cons here.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
Well, regarding the porn industry, I think it's like really natural that men and women involve themselves in sexualization of any kind, mostly because, well, you have chemicals specifically that do exactly that. And with humans, it's very interesting because we are intensely conscious human beings that look inward, and so that sexualization can get complex. It goes way beyond just procreation.
Okay, that was interesting. I don't really see what it has to do with our point, to be honest.
I just think that it's normal to have porn.
Have you ever seen any testimonies of ex-porn stars and their regrets?
No.
Okay. All right. I'd assume that would have came across your feed eventually, but well, a lot of people in that industry, when they leave it, have a lot of regrets, and they try to advocate for other people not to get involved with it.
Yes.
Do you think that their view is more important than yours since they're actually in that industry?
No, I just think that it's very exploitative, and that we would seek to change that.
Well, again, if it's exploitative and you want to change it, that's wonderful. But right now, it isn't changing. Right now, it is what it is.
Yeah, so focus on changing it as opposed to wanting to ban porn.
Okay, stop for a minute first. What I'm saying to you is that, come on, man, just control yourself for 1 minute. That's all. All I'm saying to you is that if you already know that it's an exploitative industry and it's a bad industry, although you want it to change, right now you shouldn't be saying it's okay if they want to do porn. You should say maybe you don't want to get into that until that industry changes. Do you see the difference in the way you're presenting it?
No. I just don't put the blame on that. I just put the blame on the exploitation. The problem is the exploitation, not the porn in and of itself. There's plenty of industries that do porn, and it's perfectly respectable. It's respectable work.
I'm sorry, repeat that again?
There are countries that are less prude than the United States regarding sex, and it's a respectable job. Like the Netherlands.
Well, you keep bringing great examples of places that aren't here. We're talking about the women here.
Okay, yeah, so we should change the culture in the United States to be more accepting of people.
Okay, but again, if someone makes their living with sex work, do you think the general the general population would frown on them or give them thumbs up?
Frown on them.
Okay, so let's just say from that logic, if the majority of the population would frown on something, you decide to get into that particular something, aren't you already setting yourself up for a social fall?
But the problem isn't on them. The problem is on the society that attributes the negative stereotype.
You're deflecting. You're not answering my question. I asked you a very clear question. See, you're saying that because of society shouldn't matter. The person's choice is the only thing that matters. What I'm saying is if you know you're going against society, you are making a choice that's going to make some things harder for you. You can't contest that point, can you?
I don't even know what your point is. I tried to listen to you there, and I unironically do not understand where you're coming from.
All right, I'll try one more time. If all of society frowns on a certain behavior, and I decide that I'm going to do that behavior, am I not putting myself against society?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
And if I'm putting myself against society, I'm making myself a harder path forward, right?
Yes.
Was that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, well, now you have my point because that's what we were just debating about. So what I'm saying is that if you enter the porn industry and you know the majority of society frowns upon it, you're already making your life harder. So if you truly care about women like you say, their freedom of choice still means that someone should say to them, you might not want to get into that.
I attribute blame not on the victim. I attribute blame around perpetrators. That's like it's a fundamental difference in axioms. Like take, for example, if a girl dresses very, a woman dresses very sexy, that doesn't mean that is an invitation to get sexually assaulted, right? The blame isn't on her for dressing sexy. The blame is on the perpetrators.
I completely agree with that point. The only reason I agree with that point is because you like to bring up things that no one's going to disagree with.
Okay, in regards to the exploitation of sex workers, the blame is on the exploiter, not the exploited. You're trying to shift blame to the exploited.
Actually, you're the one who's shifting it first because I'm talking about social perception, right?
Yes.
And we're saying that audience society frowns upon that behavior. We're not talking about the exploit part of it. We're talking about how general people look at someone who works in porn.
Yeah, and I just think it's wrong that we dehumanize women in sex work just simply because of the profession they choose. I think it's wrong.
Okay.
I think that they are the effectively the exploiters, and they perpetuate negative stereotypes where none of this is necessary.
Okay, wait. I'm sorry. What negative stereotypes are pushed forward by people who don't like porn?
Slut.
I'm curious.
Calling them sluts.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. We've done this before, but I think your definition of slut was a woman who sleeps with a lot of men, correct?
Sleeps around a lot, yeah.
Sleeps around a lot. Okay, so if we're talking about a porn star who's had more than 100 scenes with men, could you call her a slut?
I mean, I don't like calling women sluts. I think it's derogatory.
When I asked you how you feel about it first,
I would not call them a slut.
Would it be by the definition you gave?
Yeah, that's the typical definition for slut.
Okay, so how is that misinformation?
Yeah, I mean, I can call somebody fat for being fat, but you're just kind of being a dick. I don't like to disrespect women just because they sleep around a lot. I think that's their choice. It's their body. They have a right, and I should not degrade them for that.
Okay, but again, you're just arguing emotionally, and you're not actually.
I'm not arguing emotionally. I'm arguing on the basis of compassion. Yeah. It's not an emotional argument. It's like, hey, they're human, and I would like to be treated with humanity, and so then we ought treat those women with humanity, right? Imagine if your job was seen as like this super negative thing, and society saw you as like less than human because of the profession you chose, and all you're doing is providing a service. It sounds insane when you put it down that way.
I would probably not choose that profession.
Yeah,
but again,
of course
like
you wouldn't. But like, what if you like the profession? What if you like doing that? Or hell, people choose professions just because they need to make money. So it's like, okay, well, do they deserve less?
You asked me a question, let me answer it. Okay? I would make the consideration that since I'm a father and I have a family to provide for, that the way society views me is important too. So it might be more important to me to have a job that's socially acceptable than one that pays me more money and brings my family into a lot of strife. Is that clear?
Well, but again, you're putting the blame towards yourself, not on the perpetrators.
Yes, because I'm the one. No. So
yes, you are. You're because you're the victim there in that instance, right? You're choosing not to do a specific profession because of the ostracism that you would get. But the reality isn't the problem of the ostracism. It's the fact that society views it that way.
The problem is that you don't want to accept what reality is. If the majority
no,
of people
I just think that reality can be changed. Reality changes. It changes all the time, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to live a better world. If we didn't want a better world, then we should still be cavemen and just like, I don't know, draw stuff on the walls all day. Like society changes, and I'm okay with society changing, and I'm okay with advocating for less demonization of individuals who didn't do anything wrong.
Of course you want change.
Mm-hmm.
Now, anyway, first, we got off the point. You were talking about compassion, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And you were saying that that's not an emotional argument?
I mean, okay, I'll grant you that there's emotion involved in that, but just because something is emotional doesn't mean it's not correct or it's illogical. There's lots of things tied to emotion that are correct.
I have a quick sidebar because earlier you were talking to one of the callers.
Mm-hmm.
First, how do you know you're not delusional?
I don't think I'm delusional.
I know you don't think you are. I'm curious as to how do you know you're not?
I would say because I am able to go through logic and reason and be able to reason with a level of cognizance. I can understand, hear people, and respond in a cogent way. I can read Aristotle's Organon and understand how syllogisms work and logic works. Also, my predictions often lead to empirical metrics, which can be measured and shown. So, yeah.
That was a very good definition. I'm sorry, of defense of it. Very good. Have you practiced that, or was that off the top of your head?
That was off the top of my head.
Cool beans. Now, first, all those attributes that you just told me, does that apply to people who believe in God?
Sure.
Okay, so you don't think that religious people are delusional?
I mean, I think it is a neurosis. It's like a type of neurosis, but I don't think that they're delusional. Because like a lot of people, they're just like born into this, right? They get they get indoctrinated from an early age. And so they can't think of anything outside of that. They frame their life around it. And so it would not be delusional of them to operate in that boundary because, that's their life.
Okay, how do they indoctrinate people? I'm curious.
By having youth groups for young kids to join churches and
Okay, I'm going to write this down. Can you give me 3
baptize
of them?
them and take them to Catholic schools and try to teach little children the word. Like, let's be honest, Christianity would die within about 40 years if they stopped doing this.
I'm sorry, I write kind of slow, but you said youth groups, correct?
Yeah.
You also said that they teach children young.
Yep.
And the last one was they take them to, was it church or?
Yeah. Take them
Yeah.
to churches.
Okay. Now, with those 3 attributes, can I not say that someone who becomes transgender could have been indoctrinated those same 3 ways?
Through youth groups?
Yes. Wait,
Where's
are
there
you trying
a
to tell me
trans
that?
youth group? That sounds
Wait,
based as
oh,
fuck.
wait, stop first. I'll answer you. Are you saying that there are not support groups online for young children who think they're trans?
Great. Fabulous. That's wonderful.
Okay, so would it qualify as a youth group?
No, not like what I'm talking about. Not to this
Oh,
scale.
why not?
This scale is much bigger.
For me.
Huh?
Clear it up for me, please.
Yeah,
I'd
so
like
I remember being in church when I was like 5 or 6 years old, and then there was a bunch of other kids around me, and there had to have been maybe 200 or 300 kids, like in this one area, and you just like listen to like some guy that had like frosted tips and was like, "Hey kids, have you ever heard the word of God?" And I was like, "Man,
Yeah.
I'm bored. I really wish I could play my Nintendo right now."
Okay, that's a cute personal story, but are you refuting what I said as far as a group?
Well, like a
Sponsored around.
trans youth group. I mean, I would imagine it's probably online. Probably wouldn't even be an in-person thing because of the harassment involved with that. It would be like what, maybe like 8 people, if that. Like a really
You think they're
tiny. Yeah, I think so.
So you don't think that there's a lot of young trans people who are confused and want other people to talk to about their conditions?
Hell yeah. Yeah, I do.
Well, then why the fuck would it call first? I mean, look, don't be dishonest while we talk, man.
I'm not
Seriously.
being dishonest. What do you mean? I'm answering you honestly. Why do you think I'm
so
a
you-
dishonest person? When have I ever lied to you?
Okay, you know what? First, I'm going to take that back. I don't think that you're deliberately dishonest, but I think that you pay things in a way where you know it's not quite the truth. So you're saying
No, not at all. What I am telling you is what I believe. I believe
Man,
these
come on.
things.
Okay, I know you believe in them, but wait, stop. Let me land the plane for a
So
quick
it's not me like trying to obfuscate, or I'm just telling you directly.
Okay. Say that there are a lot of trans kids who need people to gather around and talk to about things going on in their life. And then right before that, you say it's only a small room, probably like 8 people.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
Well, I'm perfectly
So-
okay with those are not
That's
contradictory statements.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you think that the majority of children who are thinking about trans issues don't have anywhere to go to or conjugate?
Yeah, I mean, I think there lacks support for trans youth. Yeah, 100%.
If they have places to conjugate, do you think it's a small conjugation or a bigger one?
Small. So there's not really a lot of trans youth.
You know what? All right, that's fair. I'll move on. Let's go to, you said teaching the children young, like Bible study, right?
Yeah. Really
Okay,
common.
how's that different from the transgender dressing hour, whatever it's called, story time?
Drag Queen Story Hour?
How's that different from drag queen story hour?
Well, because they're not indoctrinating you. They're just
Oh,
reading a
whoa,
story
whoa.
regarding acceptance.
Stop.
through
Stop.
story and play.
First, really?
You can read their
Okay,
website.
so
It's literally exactly what I had just said. The parents are also present, right? It's not like that they're pushed off to indoctrination centers. It's like, hey, be accepting of people. Like, that's it.
Okay, so the parents aren't present at Sunday school?
Not in the same room usually. They're usually doing their own, right? They're like, they separate the kids from the church itself.
Are there adults there?
Yeah.
Who's teaching Sunday school?
Yeah, an adult. Don't get me started though on youth counselors and sexual abuse cases, man. If you want to talk about real sexual abuse, bro, those are some of the worst offenders, bro. It's really bad.
We get into that, but let's stay here for a split second. So, would you agree that children are impressionable?
Yes.
And they're being impressionable, if they go to church and they hear these stories about God, it'll change their thinking about things?
Yeah, likely.
Oh, so
That's
wait,
why they
stop.
do it.
Let me finish, please. So if we take our child to Drag Queen Story Hour and both parents believe in that ideology, are you just saying that these impressionable children watching a man dressed as a woman, or whichever way you want to describe it, telling them a story, doesn't have an impression on their young minds that someone wants them to have?
Like this horrible nightmarish thing that I can't even imagine wanting to instill in my child, such as acceptance. God, I would hate it if children had acceptance. I can't even imagine a society where there's more acceptance. It would be chaos in the streets, bro. It would be insane, AWOL. I don't know what to. Have I ever convinced you on anything? I'm just curious.
Yes, I've actually agreed with you for a couple of things, man. But the problem is, like I said,
Is there anything that you changed your mind on since you had talked to me? I'm just curious.
Yes, you changed my mind on trans issues.
Oh, really? What's your what's your take on trans issues? What was it specific?
I'll do this briefly, but I think you're just deflecting because
I am genuinely curious. We can go back though. It's fine. Just one thing. I would be happy to know.
I told you I subscribed because I watched one of your debates and you made good points. And at that time, I just really considered transgender just completely mental illness only. And I hadn't really looked at any of the science of it. So, yes, there's a lot more science in the way you presented it that made me think about it deeper than I was before. And that was enough to make me sure. And then I started listening to you, and I heard how wrong you are on everything else.
All right, go back to your question.
I don't even remember. Back it down.
Everything?
How much time do we have left?
Because I've read a lot of books.
And kids being impressionable.
Do you want to see the books list?
The books list of what?
What I've read.
Oh, fuck no. I don't care about that.
You don't care? You don't want to see where I got my ideas from?
Oh, I'll tell you exactly why first. One of the problems I have when is that you are very factual, but your facts clash with the real world so often. And when you get emotional...
That's why I push against it.
Okay, when you get emotional and passionate about a subject, you'll start babbling and don't know what the hell you're talking about. And
I'm not babbling. I'm saying cogent things. It's just a lot of people, I don't know, maybe I gotta have more brevity and use smaller words. That's probably a critique that I can
No,
but I'm not I'm not babbling. I don't believe that I am babbling.
Well, sometimes you're not. But when you're out of your league, and I mean this in a good way, but let's say we're talking about child support or men avoiding child support. I talked to you about that, and you had no idea of any of the ways people can avoid it. And you kept going back to, well, the government will find them. And I couldn't convince you otherwise, but I also know you've never looked up the subject, correct?
I've looked up the subject, but I mean, all fair enough. I don't have all the ins and outs of the law, so I'll grant you that.
Okay, but that's the problem, because you got emotional about defending women and you weren't listening to my point. which you kind of fall into sometimes. Just like you got compassion about the porn thing,
Based
and you feel
defend
like
women,
it's
bro.
affecting,
Based,
it's hurting them also.
Based and defend women pilled? Sorry.
Wait, say that again.
I said based and defend women pilled?
What does that even mean, man?
It's just me. It's a good thing. I don't know. It's good to
Fair
defend
enough.
women.
Oh.
Defend women. What?
Well, I believe in. Actually, here's what's crazy. I think red pillars like me defend women far more than people like
Oh,
you.
no. I could not disagree with you more.
Easily
God
prove the
damn,
point.
bro.
Let me prove the point then.
Okay.
Earlier today, we were talking about women being scantily clad.
Uh-huh.
And you said that, obviously, people shouldn't attack them, and no one should think that they have an open invitation to attack them. You said that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Me and you also debated about this, and I said that as a father, if my daughter was walking out the house wearing something scantily clad, and she's not of the age of 18, I, as a father, can tell her, no, you can't wear that
Yeah,
out.
of course.
That's because
Wait, that's fine.
Okay,
yeah.
well,
It's your
me against
daughter.
that point. No, wait. You said that she has freedoms.
No.
Right?
We're talking about an adult, man. Come on. I'm not
Okay,
talking
well, all
about
right,
a kid. You could take a kid. You can make a kid. It's your kid. You could choose. I mean, provided you're not hurting the kid in your decision. But yeah, I mean, you could choose.
All right, well, fair enough. I'll concede your point, and I'll move it up to the adult realm.
Okay.
If red pillar look at a woman who's scantily clad in the street, and I happen to know her, and I say, you might not wear that. You might not want to wear that outfit out here because this place is kind of dangerous. Wouldn't you accuse me of trying to restrict her freedom?
No, you're just looking out for her.
You are. Oh, come on, man. Come on. Stop
I'm not.
it.
Oh my god. He thinks I'm being disingenuous. Chat, help. He thinks I'm disingenuous, and me say, like, it just sounded, the way that you said that sounded like that you're just concerned for their safety. It's not victim blaming there in that instance, but it's like, let's say, for example, like, girl gets sexually assaulted, and then the question is, what was she wearing? That's victim blaming. This is what I'm talking about. It's not right. The blame is not to be on the girl who's dressed scantily.
Well, yes, I never said the blame is supposed to be on her. But what I'm saying is that as a man, okay, before you told me that I was kind of stepping out of bounds if I was to comment on how a woman dresses, because we men shouldn't care about what women wear.
I don't know if I said
remember that.
Yeah, I don't know if I said that.
Okay, maybe I have the way you said it off. But my general point is that, like, I think that red pillars, and again, you have this misconception because you never actually look into it, that everybody's a caveman bashing women on the head and dragging them to the kitchen. But, like, people who care about their wives and their daughters try to make sure that the environments they go into are safe, or if they're going to make a bad decision, at least try to steer them away from it. And I think that when you lean so far into certain freedoms, like, oh, well, it's her choice. Yes, it is her choice, but it's not wrong for someone who loves someone to try to persuade them to do something better or less dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even necessarily disagree with that. That seems to make sense.
Well, good. All right, well, First Amendment, it's been interesting as usual.
Yeah.
I hope the rest of your night goes, well, the rest of your day goes good, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. That was AWOL, everybody. Phones are open. 323. Dude, it's my what is it? It's my cheat day. That means I could eat garbage. I want to get ice cream. Ice cream. We're still good for another call. Let's see if I can kill that that horseman on the bridge. Because before I was having a difficult time, and I think it was just, I mean, he was just one-shotting me. So I'm like, all right, well, obviously I'm not of level yet, but let's try it now. I mean, I've leveled up a bit. I've upgraded my weapon. Let's give it a shot. Wait, I think I could upgrade my weapon even more, actually. Now that I think about it. Hold on a sec. Church of Lille. Phones are open. 202-998-5218. Call in. I want to hear out your arguments. Do we run out of people to call in? Oh, shoot. How do I upgrade further? Yeah, I think I just have to head to the... Briscoe says you can eat garbage and spew garbage. It's pretty funny. Josh says there's no group of people who believe that vanilla is their favorite color. Isn't vanilla like a flavor more than I mean, vanilla is a color, right? It's like a kind of a creamy color. Like a yellowish white, I guess. I don't know. Josh says, to be friendly, my chest day is also today, and I've already eaten a whole pizza. Oh, dude, pizza! I kind of want a pizza. Pizza does sound good, doesn't it? Just go somewhere and eat a fucking pizza. Who said anything about lack of gender? All right, let's see this boss. We got this, guys. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. We got like Sauron over here. Ow. Ow. Okay, well, he's not one-shotting me. That's good. Ow. All right, we got this. We got this. Oh! Shit. How do I... Hold on. How do I get back? Oh no. How do I... Guys? How do I get back? Oh no. Hold on. I think I just respawn. Oh no, he's reading our arguments. Wigan Keegan says more than 50% of snowballs lack gender. What? It's a snowball. It doesn't have an identity. Disney is Venetian. Cut bail, yell, Epstein comes from his lineage. Sounds like a conspiracy theory. Josh says, I'm going to have to scroll up for miles to understand. Okay, no problem. We are taking calls, 202-998-5218. If you want to call in, debate the woke liberal, I'm right here. All right, here we go. Dang it. Got him. Ow. Ow! Fuck! That's not good. Can I beat him like this? Probably. Yeah, actually, probably. We got this. Ow! Holy crap, that hits hard. Ow. You're done. Shit. Shit. He can respawn it. There, he's dead. See, no problem. No problem. I didn't need to be on that horse or nothing. Catalyst says, Yes, and in my scenario, my son's gender would be a boy. If he dressed like a girl, he would be a feminine boy. He wouldn't be a girl. Nothing he does would ever make him a girl. Do you understand now? So when I'm referring to man and woman, boy and girl, that can be by gender, not by sex. And so that's why the interchange there. That's why a boy can be a girl and a girl can be a boy. I'm deteriorating into silliness. I think I'll call it quits before someone calls me a loon. Ooh, phone call. You're on the line with First Amender.
Hey, what's up, Amender?
What's your name and let me get your topic.
Well, I guess everything is trans topic. Do you
Trans
think,
topic? What was your name?
When women... it's witchwitch.
Witchwitch.
What's up, buddy?
What's up?
Do you think when women started getting their own bathrooms in public areas, was that like a form of discrimination against men?
No.
Do you think if you start seeing like cis women bathrooms, would that be a discrimination against trans women?
Yeah.
But it's just a separate category, and don't they have their own right to like a safe space?
Yeah, and trans women being in a bathroom is not making it an unsafe space.
But you said yourself, trans women are not cis women. And so
correct.
You made that distinction yourself. And so wouldn't that category of cis women, I mean, do they have the right to their own place because now we're putting them in the category of cis women?
Yeah, they get the women's
That is
bathroom.
their own category.
They have their own bathroom.
I just feel like if this progresses more, you might start seeing that. They might start making that distinction, you know? You could see bills start being funded to build cis women bathrooms and stuff like that, and I just don't think that's discrimination. If anything, that's accepting that.
Wouldn't it
women are
discriminate? So,
trans
like,
women.
do you believe that there ought to be reasonable accommodations to access public bathrooms?
I mean, we have that.
Yeah, I know we have that. I'm saying, do you think that there ought to be that?
Yeah, there ought to be that, of course.
Okay. So when a trans person uses the bathroom, it's been really, really common that if they choose the bathroom of their gender, they get harassed. And if they, and let's say, for example, we're using a trans woman as an example. If the trans woman goes into the men's bathroom, they also get harassed.
Yeah, but I'm just saying you are putting these two different types of people in a different category. We're saying cis women.
Well,
and we're
I'm
saying women.
like,
'Cause if
hold
you
on.
say women,
No.
you don't know.
No. Forget the category stuff. I'm just telling you that you yourself said that there ought to be reasonable accommodations for access to a bathroom. So why can't trans people use the bathroom?
Well,
With
I think the argument,
free from harassment.
So let me change the angle. I think to accommodate your belief system, there should be.
Hold on. It's not a belief
gender-specific
system. It's
bathrooms.
an identity. It's not a belief.
Okay. To accommodate this identity, which I'm not saying is bad, why can't there be gender-specific bathrooms?
There can.
Okay, so cis women is a certain type of gender. Why can't they have their own bathroom?
Because it's being discriminatory towards trans women.
But
It's
now-
inherently being exclusionary to trans
But
women.
now you're cornering cis women.
Are you saying that
You're
trans women
cornering
should
them.
get their own bathroom? Based.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going
So
off
you
the
would you be
categories.
in
You're saying
favor of
there's women.
separating the trans?
I'm not even saying trans women.
The bathroom,
I'm
and
just
then
saying women.
all accommodate, like you would put into law that large accommodations past like a certain amount of people, that there needs to be a completely separate bathroom for the trans women?
I'm just like right now we don't
That would be
need that.
based as fuck.
I'm just saying if we're gonna accept this
How about just let them use the bathroom that they want to use, and then just leave them alone? How about that?
I mean, I'm
that
not
way I don't have to
complaining,
invest in any infrastructure, no money spent, no change, no skin off your bones, no issue whatsoever. You just kind of leave them alone, and they
I just
can
see
use the
this
bathroom.
is where that's heading. If this is going to become part of our culture,
No, where it's heading is they just use the bathroom.
I mean, yeah,
right?
that's
Free
right
from
now,
persecution.
but-
No, that's not the case right now. They're harassed a lot. In fact, most trans women who are mid-transition, they are often avoiding situations where they need to use the public restroom. They use a private restroom or a unisex, but if they see gendered bathrooms, they just avoid it entirely. Right? Like, good example, you have a gym that you go to with locker rooms. Yeah, they change at home. They don't use those locker rooms. However, by law, that gym is required to have bathrooms, right? You can't not have a bathroom at a gym at a gym that is an actual business. You're required by law to have it. But trans women don't have access to those bathrooms because of the over politicization of it, when at the end of the day, all they want is to use the bathroom. They just need to use the bathroom because they're a human, and humans need the bathroom.
I'm sure if there was a bill that the LGBTQ community was trying to pass that said we want our own trans bathrooms, I'm sure you'd be for it.
Not really. I would just be like, me personally, I just think that they should be able to use the bathroom that they want to use, and that's it. Free from persecution, free from harm.
When did this whole bathroom, like the men's bathroom, when do you think this all started? Like, why do you think women wanted to have separate bathrooms?
Because of the sexual harassment around women.
Okay. So do you think genders should have their own bathroom if they want it? As a group coming together, should they request their own bathroom?
I mean, me personally, I don't think there's actually enough trans people to justify that. There's not enough, and that's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying this. Just
is
leave
something that
trans women alone and just let them use the bathroom
in the future.
Just leave trans women alone and let them use the bathroom.
Well, it's not that easy. It's not like
no, it is. It is.
Alone.
It's no skin off your back. You just, when you see a trans woman, right? Here's what you do. That's it. That's what you do. You don't need to react. You don't need to say, "Hey, you're in the wrong bathroom."
I agree with you.
You don't need to
I'm
say,
not saying we have to do anything.
What the fuck? Why are you wearing that, freak? You don't need to do any of that. You could just, here, I'll do it again. Ready?
I'm just saying, Commander, when this culture is going to nurture this ideology, identity.
No, it's not an ideology. Why do people do this? It's not an ideology. It's like saying black ideology or white ideology. There's no ideology. It's just an identity.
What do we call it
it's an identity.
What do we call
identity?
I know, but when a community accepts this identity, what do you call that?
When a community accepts an identity, inclusive? I would call it inclusive. Inclusive.
I think an ideology comes from an identity that a mass group of people accept.
I mean, if you think inclusivity is an ideology, if you're not in favor of inclusivity, we can talk about that.
Is ideology a bad word? I'm not trying to say it's a bad word.
Well, but you're using it in a way where it's like intended to be derogatory. It inherently, what it does is that it ties away a person's identity. Right. And it's like, by calling it an ideology makes it seem like, oh, that's something that can be changed. But trans people aren't going anywhere, regardless of what you want to call it.
Yeah. No, and I don't think they're going to go anywhere. I think the way we're going and the way we're accepting everyone, which is I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying this is what we're going to see in the future. We're going to start seeing the right they're going to take that cis word, and this is what we're going to see. We're going to start seeing
Yeah.
bills passed for public areas.
Mark Revere just
this is
subscribed.
the-
Thank you for the subscription, Mark. And I don't know why it plays the sound twice, but it does. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
I was just trying to play that at you because that's, like I said, I see this
All right.
kind of happening.
Are
in the
you
future.
aware of like the whole like the gay panic of the 1980s?
That with the
Remember all
AIDS? Yeah.
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 And how it was like, oh, you shouldn't be gay, this gay ideology. It's the same stuff as like the whole trans
Well,
pandemic.
that was a little
currently.
different.
No,
they
it's
just
not.
thought-
It's not. You're going to go
It is. There's
20
no
or 30
disease right
years
now
into
that
the
people are
future.
afraid of.
Hold on. You're going to go about 20 or 30 years into the future and all this stuff is going to blow over. I'm telling you.
It's different. The 80s
It's
was
not.
a disease-driven fear. This is a fear of people losing their speech. Like, there's no.
What? No, it was just
I
being
agree with
gay
you, Mender,
was the
like,
problem. Like, and they used the
I accept
disease
people.
as a way to deny people's humanity. It's not an ideology. It's just accepting people for who they are.
Yeah, but what's coming after people is their freedom of speech. You know, you're almost enforcing people to.
I mean, if you're asking me whether or not that I would
conform to
enforce hate
people's
speech laws, the
personal
answer is
ideas.
yes. But I only argue that because when I observe most European societies, they have hate speech laws and they're quite successful. And it's not like it turned into 1984. It just ended up becoming a more inclusive society and then people are just accepted more. Right. It's Karl Popper's paradox. Do you know what I'm talking about? The paradox of tolerance?
No, I don't.
So if you have a society that tolerates intolerant people, then what it creates is an intolerant society. And so the only option that you have in order to maintain a tolerant society is that you do not tolerate intolerant people. The paradox of tolerance.
So you take away
Mm-hmm.
certain speech.
Yep. We already do this, by the way.
I mean, I believe, yeah, you can't
Just
have
not to
freedom
the same
without,
extent as
without laws.
Europe.
I understand that. You can't have freedom without laws. You know, I
Correct.
get where you're coming from, but they're just words. And if you start taking
No,
away
but it's
certain
like,
words, then
I mean, like,
you
what's
give
the
an inch, they
word?
take
Is
a
the
mile,
word
Mender.
like
I mean, you know this.
apple or is the word like Heil Hitler? Like, do you see the difference? Like, what's the word? Are you using, like, it's not just words. Obviously, these things have different meaning, right?
I mean, you just said Heil Hitler. I don't even take any, like, obviously you just said those words and they mean nothing. Like, you don't mean anything. There's
Those don't mean
no-
anything? Those words
No,
don't
you just-
mean anything?
You just said Heil Hitler. It meant nothing. What does that mean? Nothing. You just said some
Well,
words.
I'm saying like one of them obviously
put it
has
in
a
context,
hugely
you can
politically
create something.
charged
Yeah.
thing that like dehumanizes individuals, and then the other one is a fruit.
I don't know, man. I feel like you got to let it all out there, and then you just got to.
Yeah, well, I am letting it all out there. You know what I want to let all out?
No, not you specifically. I mean, letting the people let it all out there. Let the people express themselves.
Yeah, I mean,
freely.
I the idea of this is that like the reason why people want this is because they say that, listen, in the marketplace of ideas, truth will supersede everything, right? That it will overcome. But I don't see that actually happening. What I see instead is that it has only made people more extreme. It has made people more hateful. It has made the desire of exclusive societies, not inclusive societies. It has resulted in people having a genuine desire to discriminate against people based off of inherent characteristics that they cannot control. And people like me are the minority. We are officially the minority in Trump's America, and the entire world is laughing at us because we were so fervent in that free speech thing. And I don't see how it's actually resulting in better outcomes. It's making life worse. People are not in favor of objective truth. In fact, the truth, if anything, is buried under a mountain of under a mountain of falsehood. And people can't even determine what's true versus fiction, right? And it's like, so why are we doing this? Is it actually making society better, or is it actually just making society worse?
Well, I'm going to make a point right now, and I'm sure some of the chat will agree. I know Bubero won't, but this all stemmed from that whole pronoun issue. I want to say like 4 or 6 years ago or something like that. Like, I feel like there was no issue with trans.
What's
It was all
wrong with
very
calling
subtle.
trans
Yeah,
people by their pronouns? Who cares?
Well, I don't care. But now when you force me to do something,
No one's forcing.
then I start to care.
No one's forcing.
You are. You want to force people to call people by their correct pronouns. That's
No, I just think
speech,
it's
man.
respectful to do it.
I mean,
It's like calling
disrespectful
people
to call
Mr.
someone a
or
jerk an
Mrs.
asshole,
or
but I can freely do that if I
doctor
want
or
to.
just calling them things that are
I'm
appropriate
not allowed
by.
to hurt someone's feelings. Like, that's
You
part of
are.
my-
You're just an asshole.
my right.
You're just an asshole, and that's
Of
not
course, I'm just an
anybody
asshole.
taking away your rights. You have a right to be an asshole. It's just you're an asshole. That's all it is. So it's like
So you
you
wanna
act
force
like that.
people to
There's this
hide
giant
their
police
assholery.
that are after you, when in reality it's trans
You
people
wanna go
that are
back
being
50
policed.
years
Is
and
it not trans
force
people
to
being?
make
Don't you agree?
secret anti-
Don't you agree that trans people are the ones being policed, not your speech?
No, I feel like
No,
people
not
are
at all.
very- You don't even know what I was going to say.
How so?
I think people are, for the most part, obedient to people that they meet and they don't understand. Like, there's people out there.
I
that are gonna
can't
go
tell
up
you
to a
how many
random person
people
and
tell
call them an
me
asshole.
that they would not
That's
respect
everywhere,
pronouns.
remember? You're not going to get rid of jerks and assholes. I mean, they're going to exist.
I
as long
get
as we
it, but
exist.
don't you want to strive to be not an asshole? Maybe.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean we
Based.
have to get rid of certain speech.
I
you know?
never said get rid of speech. Never did I argue getting rid of speech. But I am in favor of certain hate speech laws, 100%.
Well, we
100%.
have that.
But
I
if
mean,
you think
businesses-
that I like me personally, like I think if you're walking around like in Nazi garb and Nazi uniform and you're going around hailing Hitler going down the street with your Nazi flags, I think you should be arrested. Yeah. Yeah,
well,
I don't think
you're not
that's
going to be able to arrest those guys if you
I would
ban certain speech and they're
100%.
forced to have secret societies and meetings in places we
No.
can't
What
see. I'd rather
actually
those
ends up
people be out in
happening
the
is that
open, Amanda.
they go to jail, they go into hiding, and it's just not seen as acceptable, right? Whereas now, when you accept it and you have it out in the open, it actually brings in more attention than anything. It doesn't actually result in being a less hateful society. It just makes a more hateful society. You have to ask yourself, why do you uphold such rules or such thoughts if it leads to worse outcomes?
Because I think sometimes we need to have provocative thoughts. I mean, sometimes we need to risk to offend certain
I'm not
people to
against
get to the
provocative
truth.
thoughts, but it's like, I mean, let me ask you this. Do you think that somebody should be able to advocate pedophilia?
Advocate pedophilia? No, I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Why? Wait, what? I thought you were free speech. Huh?
I
What happened?
am for free
Man, that was
speech,
fast. Man, that was quick.
But that's advocating
You did
something
that real quick.
illegal.
Hey,
That's
here,
different
I
from
got a
others.
hot take. I think that guy should go into jail too. And same thing
mean,
with the Nazi. But you see
cannot-
how that
if you're
I'm consistent
threatening to
and
do
you're not?
something illegal, they can arrest you. That's
No,
that's
hold
anywhere,
on.
remember? I mean-
Advocating for it and doing it are two different things, aren't they?
Oh, okay, you got
You
me.
see the
All
problem?
right, then in that case, yes. If someone is advocating for speech, let that guy film himself. Let him go viral. And let's see what the public does. I mean, let's not hide it. So you're right. You're right.
Okay, so you're okay with social ostracism for being an asshole and being abusive to children or advocating abuse to children. I agree with you.
I'm not okay with it, but I'm okay with freedom of speech. And sometimes
Wait,
that comes
hold
with some
on.
pretty
We
hairy situations.
literally based on your position, you and I agree.
People advocate for pedophilia all the time. You never seen Dateline? Like Chris Hansen walks in, like these people are being exposed. Let's expose them. Who cares? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to expose these fucking.
No, I mean, I
monsters
would
and
say
animals.
if you have a pedophile, right, who's advocating for pedophilia, I would say 100% you need to stop that person. And same thing with the Nazi. It's no different.
But how can
like,
you
I'm just
stop
like-
them if they're just going to keep to themselves, be quiet, and then do the act, in secrecy? Like, let that
Yeah.
person come out. But now you can monitor that person.
Well,
now you can monitor
take it
who's
this way,
following them and
right?
talking to them.
Take it this way, right? Do you know how Germany managed to denazify?
Yeah, school systems. They had to go through.
Yeah, there was like
ex-Nazis
required.
were
There were required
imprisoned,
classes
and
that people had to take. People were required to. It was this giant effort, and then they basically made it illegal to argue Nazi positions.
You know how they
Right.
denazified them, Amender? They actually gave them real history and real,
Yeah.
literature to read that Hitler wasn't allowing these guys to read. I mean,
Yeah.
these guys were.
Well, that's dude.
given fucked up
Based.
shit
This is
to learn
why.
from.
This is why I bring up trans literature, because no one actually reads this stuff. They just listen to some random YouTuber, and then that's it, right? But I have read the stuff. I've read a lot on this topic, and I'm telling you, man, the whole trans thing. Right wingers are hands down that it is one of the least understood topics. It really is.
I mean, for a long time I was thinking it was this mental disorder, or you say difference. I mean, I understand now it's just who we are, and it's nature and nurture, and our culture is now nurturing that, and it's always been around. It's just people had to suppress whatever they're feeling. I'm just saying it's not going to be over. It's a paradox. I mean, they're going to start accepting the cis word and start applying it and making.
Yeah, it'll be great. You'll love it. It's great. I'm gonna drag you kicking and screaming to a utopia, bro. Watch it. You're gonna be like, no, I don't want to live in your liberal hellhole. I don't want to live in affordable housing. Oh, okay. It's actually.
But at what
that's
point does a woman,
here.
a trans woman or a woman, wants to identify as a cis? Where does that threshold begin? Because
That's
be
not possible.
50 years down the line.
No, that's not possible.
But they want to go in that cis woman bathroom really bad.
They
feel
just
like
go to the women's bathroom. That's it. It's simple. They're a trans woman, right? It's that simple. That a cis woman and trans woman, a trans woman cannot be a cis woman, because then they would just be a biological woman, right? But they're not born a woman, right?
No.
So they can never be cis, and that's okay.
So, but that's discriminatory in your eyes, having a cis woman.
No, it's not. It's just describing things. You understand? Transgender just means across from gender. That's it.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah. And so cis is the same as gender. So they'll never be cis because they, by definition, are trans.
What's stopping like sports leagues and NCAA and regulations from going cis women only? I mean, do you see that happening?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're actively denying trans women access to sports. Yes.
Okay. All right, Amanda, I just kind of wanted to play that out with you, buddy.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, man. Go Bills.
I appreciate it. Are you subscribed?
Yeah, I subscribed.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank you very much.
Long time listener.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right, cool. I'll talk to you later then.
All right, later.
Thank you. Well, everybody. How long has it been? Let's see, 3:52. I think that this is a good stopping point. This was pretty good. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Did you guys enjoy it? I had fun. It's fun. Subscribe. What are you doing? I got to work on my spiel, right? To get like people to subscribe. I don't know. I got to say, hello, everybody. You better subscribe. I have no idea why I'm doing this voice. But you better subscribe, boys. Boys and girls. And trans individuals. Anyway, I want to go eat something. What do I want to eat? I can eat anything. I can go anywhere. All right. I'm going to go. I'm going to go be fat and sassy somewhere. You're going to watch me. I'm going to be all fat and sassy. And by fat and sassy, I mean I'm going to go to the candy store and get and get candy and just eat candy and ice cream and go be fat and sassy. Anyway, thank you all very much. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We're going to be doing more Elden Ring, more debates, more content, more videos, all that good stuff. So I appreciate y'all very much. Thank you for everything, for joining in and listening. So it has been great times. Thank you. Bye-bye.